tonight on 9. The 2006 Toyota AFL Premiership season, proudly brought to you by Hungry Jack's. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's, oh yeah. A&R Computers, the team to beat for great value and service. Radio Rentals, SA's biggest electrical retailer. You'd be mad to shop anywhere else. Metropolitan Plumbing, emergency plumbing 24 hours, 7 days a week. And Wizard Home Loans. At Wizard, you'll finally say, why not?
Hello and welcome to Amy Stadium for Showdown 21 between Port Adelaide and the Adelaide Crows. Adelaide playing to regain top spot on the AFL ladder. Port Adelaide playing to try and stop them. And it doesn't matter what's happening in the rest of the world in Showdown week, because for South Australians this is the centre of the universe and nothing else matters. And a man who knows that better than anybody else is Mark Bickley, two-time Premiership captain for the Adelaide Crows. Welcome to you, Mark, as we greet people with the news that the captain of the Adelaide Crows is not playing this afternoon, Mark Rasciuto.
Yes, thanks, Dwayne. Look, it appears he's not going to take his place in the lineup. He'll be replaced by Chris Knights, a good young player who's in great form in the SANFL. So, big blow for Adelaide because Mark Rasciuto has been pivotal up forward for Adelaide. It
is important for Adelaide to try and regain top spot. They started this season in outstanding fashion, and all of a sudden now they're a chance to not win the minor premiership and not go into the finals with that confidence that we thought they were going to enter with.
Yeah, the big game between Freo and West Coast. If Fremantle win that, Adelaide can regain top spot, but I think it's more about Adelaide regaining some form. Yeah. The last month they've won 1 out of their last 4, so they really want to get back and about and get some confidence about the way they play, because there's been a few wobbles just of late.
You can see Port Adelaide in 12th spot on the ladder, and they have been out of the reckoning for quite a while, but they have been in reasonable form as well without winning of late. Adelaide's form of recent time, we spoke about that just then, Bex, but the stats add up to show that they are in a little bit of trouble at the moment.
Yeah, look, if you look at what they're doing themselves, personally, their own stats haven't changed that much, down a little bit, but the scoring accuracy is one thing that has dropped off significantly. I think that's just been brought about the way they're entering their forward line. They've had a few forwards that have been injured in Rasciuto and Burton, and they've just been forced a little bit wider. So that's one thing, but also the way that other teams are attacking them. Now we're seeing, after the West Coast beat them quite comfortably, teams now running with handball and attacking their back line, and look, they've been able to score pretty well against them.
Port Adelaide just about to burst through the banner with thanks for the memories, Josh Franco. We'll be speaking to him with Jason McCartney shortly. But Port Adelaide, they haven't been winning lately, but they've still been in pretty good form.
Yeah, they have, and they've probably unearthed a few really good players of late. Daniel Pearce, we know of. Chaplin's another guy who's playing a key position role, but just in recent times, blokes like Bentley and Logan who have been doing some really good things. So that youthful exuberance has just been carrying a bit of late. And you can see Sean Burgoyne there, who's probably been one of the form players of the competition in the last couple of months.
Let's have a look at the two lineups. Firstly, the Adelaide Crows, and goal-kicking power is down, Bix, without Mark Rasciuto and without probably their gun forward, Brett Burton, not playing, and he might not play for the finals either.
Yeah, look, there's also been some change up there. Bock has now come in over the last couple of weeks. Scott Welsh has only been in there a couple of weeks. We've got Ian Perry back in today. So just the system there might be a little bit shaky because they've just got some new faces in there.
At least he is in good form, Ian Perry. Kicked 6 goals in the SANFL last week, so the Adelaide Crows will be hoping that he can provide for them this afternoon. There is Chris Knights, the late inclusion with Mark Rasciuto out. Port Adelaide's line-up, well, they have some goal-kicking power as well. It just depends on who they decide to put up forward as to whether they can increase that goal-kicking power but take a little bit away from their defence.
Yeah, a couple of big tall targets up there. White and Thurston's two players who can take a catch. Brett Ebert was outstanding last week. He really arrived as a player, I feel, and if he had a kick straight the last couple, he could have had a few big bags of goals. We know Josh Marnie is a dangerous player. The other thing worth noting is with Brogan and Lade back in the side, both those guys can take a catch, and Lade in particular is dangerous around the forward line.
One of their superstars for Port Adelaide since they started in the competition has been Josh Franco. He has retired and he's downstairs with Jason McCartney.
Well, Josh, 156 games, it comes to an end. How do you feel about it all? Yeah, look, I must admit, I'm actually looking forward to moving on to the next phase of my life. You said 156, it would have been nice to get to 200, but obviously through injury and the rest of it obviously didn't get there. But look, no, I'm really excited about today. We're just about to do the lap of honour and I'm looking forward to it.
You've certainly seen the highs and lows of what AFL footy can throw up.
Yeah, look, I have. It's funny, you're going along and you're travelling along pretty well, playing some decent footy, and then all of a sudden you cop a couple of bad injuries, which really does throw a spanner in the works. And I suppose it's one of those things, when you're young, you get the older guys come and say, don't take anything for granted, and I'm probably a perfect example of that.
In the future, it looks quite bright. You've used 38 players this year, some good kids coming through. Yeah, there are. Look, obviously with success, you know, the following years, you're always probably going to go in a bit of a downer and you go into a rebuilding phase, and that's where we are at the moment. Look, we've had a lot of injuries this year, but that's allowed the young guys to get an opportunity, and once they get 30, 40, 50 games under their belt, then they'll be better for it. Thanks for your time, Josh. Congratulations, a terrific career. Well done, mate. Yeah, thanks, Jason.
Josh Franco was a magnificent career as well. Second in a Brownlow medal, third in a Brownlow medal, and of course a Magarey medalist here in the SANFL. Showdowns have always been hot from the start. This one likely to be no exception.
Reality check.
What is this? It's a reality crime show.
As Grissom gets put under the microscope.
Hey.
We warn you, it ain't gonna be pretty.
Mr. Grissom, we may have missed that. Can you say it one more time for the camera?
CSI Sunday, then on CSI Miami.
Certainly knows how to draw a crowd.
A moral dilemma with a wicked twist. New CSI Sunday, tonight from 8:30 on 9.
You think you've aged gracefully. She thinks you're letting yourself go. Do something.
Men Expert Vitalift Complete Anti-Aging Moisturiser revitalises and firms the appearance of the skin. Men Expert from L'Oreal Paris.
Because you're worth it too.
Despite the demand for Bogue's draft, we insist on testing it up to 30 times. It's how we make sure you only get the best.
If you're looking to mix a little leisure with your next business conference, think about the McCracken and Clare Country Clubs. Our award-winning 4.5-star reputation is just the beginning. There's the golf, the tennis, the restaurants and bars, the health centres and the spas in every room. We should also mention our state-of-the-art conference facilities, catering for groups both large and small. So whether it's the seaside location of Victor Harbour or the rolling wine country of Clare, you'll experience the finest hospitality at the McCracken and Clare Country Clubs.
The greatest home improvement sale this year, and it ends next Sunday. Don't miss it. Now's the best time to improve your home. Roller shutters, carports, roof rejuvenation, verandas, render, roofing, gutters. Massive factory back savings. 20, 30, 40, 50% off. Beat the price rise. Blue Scope steel prices go up next Sunday.
You can even open an account and pay no interest ever.
The Gotta Get a Group. Call or drop in.
Why would you go anywhere else?
Hurry, end Sunday.
Because you had to be cool for Dad this Father's Day. And get your dad the coolest CDs from Billy Joel, 12 Gardens Live. Miles Davis, Cool and Collected. The Essential Roy Orbison. And Bob Dylan's new album, Modern Times.
Someday, baby, you ain't gonna...
Get all these CDs and be cool for Dad this Father's Day.
The Kia Cerato Happy Deal, thanks.
The Kia Cerato with 2-litre engine, dual airbags and cruise control. Just $17,990 drive away.
The Cerato Happy Deal with free 5-year Kia factory warranty.
Kia Happy Deals for a limited time only.
The first cotton undies with Coolmax technology to wick the sweat away. Wick sweat. What does that mean?
Wick it away, to draw up.
Extract. Withdraw. The science of moisture management. I can't say that Aussie guys don't want an undie science lesson. That is ridiculous.
These are very clever undies.
It's not rocket science. It's simple, like zinc and eskies. The undies are made for Australian summer.
But what's the ad say?
New Bonds Everyday Active. Very comfy summer undies. You're a genius.
Showdown 21, the toss of the coin. Chad Corns and Nathan Bassett. Nathan Bassett winning the toss and is kicking to the lake end in the opening term in bright sunshine here at Amy Stadium. Magnificent conditions for AFL football as we welcome the number one commentator of the game, Dennis Committee. There's a blue on already, Dennis.
Not between us.
No.
Never for a moment. Thanks, Dwayne. Well, looking forward to this one. Obviously, a few players just trying to find their way through a crowded centre square down there. Big test, I think, for Adelaide this afternoon. A big test. They've got to get back on the winning track.
Down on the boundary line, Jason McCartney.
Yes, Dwayne, look, terrific conditions down here. Good crowd building up. Look, the big concern with Rashudo out of side. A hamstring complaint, a bit of an issue in the lead into the finals. Bit of a blue going on. There's no love lost between these two sides. Also interesting, Mark Bickley, when he went around, I think he went around 3 different occasions, his farewell, 3 laps. Josh Franco, no fanfare, just the 1 lap. Have a good call, guys.
Showdown 21, away we go. Opening bounce. Corns, could he be taken high in there? Not according to the umpire. He's still arguing his case. And that ball slow to release. And again, a few skirmishes. Port can afford to do this, but Adelaide need to be very careful. Clark goes up, knocks it down decisively. Edwards emerges with a football, but it's coming back. It's going to be a free kick. And it's going to Brogan, who plays on the Corns, who boots it down towards half forward. Ebert, so good last week. Comes up the ground, gathers 65 metres from goal, spins around, short of the target though, bounced in front of Bentley, taken by Logan, got the hand pass away, Salopek couldn't control it, Edwards tackled by a couple taken to ground, and we'll have a bounce about 30 metres out from goal.
Pretty hot start then, there's plenty of pressure around the footy, and like I say, you just love it, that feel of the showdown and the few scuffles there.
Yeah, pretty niggly. Bounce. Wide of the pack, Edwards again. Hurried kick outside the defensive 50. Van Berlo, Shirley. Hart needs to watch his step. Well done by the big guy, Lade. Interrupted the progress of the kick. Corns puts it down towards the pocket. Bassett. That's a contested mark.
Yes, the world record of marks a few weeks ago, Nathan Bassett with 22. A lot of them were uncontested that afternoon. McLeod wide to John Cock. Chip kick, Doughty. Half-back flank. Adelaide Crows yet to go into attack. And Doughty's held up. Sends it wide. High ball. Coming hard, Brogan. Knocked it down to Daniel Pearce. What a season he's having. Handball missed the attempt at target. Pearce gets it back. Gets it to Logan. Handball to White. Port Adelaide will go to half forward again. White's kicking the Marnie direction. Box with him. John Cock. Boundary line. Bock. They keep it alive, Adelaide. Hart. Inside defensive 50, free kick, play on advantage. Doughty from half-back flank, not a lot to go to, held up yet again, goes inboard hoping for Shirley. He was crunched, but he took the mark. Play on. So the mark obviously wasn't paid because Goodwin was allowed to play onto advantage. McLeod heads it wide, Clark over it. Tried to slide a handball out, it's still hot in the kitchen at the moment. Bright sunshine, ball tied up on the outer wing. And the umpire will sort it out with the ball up.
One of the key matchups, Rob Shirley playing on Sean Burgoyne, which was to be expected, but Sean Burgoyne being in electric form, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one.
Bounce on the outer side, not a particularly good one. Brogan had it, lost it. Shirley in trouble, was taken high. Will be a free kick, I think, to the Crows out there as Shirley and Logan face up to each other. Meantime, the ball comes in towards the middle, laid off by Perry. Across to Bode. Bode from long range. First goal of the showdown.
Chicken nuggets. Oh, yeah, love them. But, you know, not big enough unless you're a pygmy. However, Jax understands hungry. Take a look at these mega nuggets. Now, that's more like it. And they come with this freaky dipping sauce. Team that with a Coke and fries and you've made a meal of it. But wait, there's more. Marinated chicken wingettes. Oh, yeah. Just the thing when you're feeling beckish.
The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Bit of serendipity with Matthew Bode kicking the first of the afternoon, a former Port Adelaide player, 29 games for the Power. He was traded for pick 12 and Port used that pick to grab Sean Burgoyne. And here he is, Sean Burgoyne, the clearance specialist. Knocks it out of the middle, straight to Matner. Sean Burgoyne ran him down, but he got it to Goodwin. And off to Doughty, spearing pass, hoping for and fighting Welsh.
Good sign for Adelaide. The two marks they've taken inside their forward 50 have both been right in front of goal, so they're trying to use that centre corridor, and we know it's much easier to score when you mark it right in the guts there.
Scott Welsh, 3 goals 2 last week against the Dogs. Has been a goal kicker all his life with the Kangaroos and with the Crows. He sets it up, touched on the line, play on, and taken through by Chaplin for a behind.
Looked for a moment as though it was going to make it. Burgoyne comes back to take the kick as we watch the kick coming in. Brogan having to stretch and Chaplin deciding to take it back across the line. Burgoyne, as Mark said, being watched closely. He relished that situation of crashing into the man who's doing the watching surely moments ago. Here's Cassisi across half back. Bishop got it from Wakeland, kicks to midfield. Awkward bounce. Shirley's got the football. Salopek took him down. Pierce hand passes forward. Coming up to meet the ball was Bassett. Did well enough. Got boots the ball. He was outnumbered. Going to ground Corns over the top. Bock. In goes White. And that ball is tied up. The umpires this afternoon, McLaren, Chamberlain and Woodcock.
Don't you love that about Nathan Bassett? He plays 5 or 10 metres in front of his player and he's not afraid to leave him if the ball's there to be won.
And don't you love this showdown? Bode, quick to Goulburn, inside 50, Perry's down there, couldn't get a hand to it, and Wakeland takes the mark at full-back, plays on quickly, heads it wide, Cassisi has some space, goes to Kane Corns, almost shut down, but he took a good mark. He also been in good form this year. Bishop trying to thread the handball to Salopek, does brilliantly. Salopek, Logan, Salopek the 1-2, runs to 50, can load up from there, goes long, goes all the way.
Phew, technology moves incredibly fast these days. So if you want to see the very latest in computers and IT, Radio 2 Radio Rentals, check out the biggest range of all the big brands. Check the biggest. You can rent with no deposit and no application fees. Check no deposit rental. For the very latest technology, SA's biggest electrical retailer is IT. You'd be mad to shop anywhere else.
Stephen Salopek, 11 goals for the season now as Port draw to within 1 point. 7 plays 6 in the showdown. Clark is up to knock it down, follows up, lays it off. Good one. Long penetrating kick, the spiral. Deep inside the 50 and Welsh on his chest. The spiral's a pretty good weapon sometimes. Hard to judge exactly where it will fall. Welsh did it best.
Also that dangerous area again, Dan, straight from the middle. 20 metres out, that's a real hot spot.
Yep.
Another interesting point, Port Adelaide have been great with the clearances the last month and a half. Adelaide haven't been so great, but Adelaide got off to a good start.
Welsh directly in front, should be a soda, and he comes and he kicks it.
Wait here, darling, I'll be right back.
Sweetheart! Car? Yes, now, please. I'm late.
Lucky you're with Amy.
They might need Scott Walsh firing in September, especially if Brett Burton's unavailable. Mark Rasciuto, just repeating, not playing this afternoon, so they're down some of their goal-kicking power. Riley gets the takeaway for Adelaide toward Bode at half-40. Appeared to give a bit of a push to Kingsley. Umpire said play on. Pack forms, and they might have to sort this out, the umpires, with a ball up. 13 plays 6.
Clark looks like he's in good nick in the middle. He's been not just getting his hand on it, but actually putting it to Adelaide's advantage.
Battles here with Brogan. Wins it down. There's a whistle, and it goes against Clark. So while he won that with the hand, he was hanging on with the other. Umpire Woodcock making that assessment as Brogan kicks up towards the wing. Kingsley going back with a flight of it. Bock comes up to meet him close to the boundary line. It's out of bounds now. Whoa! Oh, the Karate Kid. Let's go down to Jace.
Yeah, interesting. Port Adelaide. Chad Corn starts in the centre there. As soon as the ball's bounced and it's cleared out, pushes to the half-back line, trying to shore up the defence.
Right in the middle of the big O. Tossed in on the outer side. Clark reaches over the top. Burgoyne cleverly out of trouble, brilliantly done, feeds it back. Salopek kicks towards the middle, wide of Thurston's, knocked away by Bassett, leads in the race. There he goes, Bassett, brilliantly done. Rutten on the overlap, goes down towards half forward. Thompson's got the run of it, trying to corral him now was Thomas. Thompson to Van Berlo. Van Berlo 75 metres from goal, from behind Perry, up he goes, split the pack, pulls behind Henschel, the snap. It's tight. I think he likes it. He's celebrating one behind. Premature celebration.
Yes, Port Adelaide did a bit of that last week against Collingwood when they thought that Daniel Pearce's shot at goal in the final term was through. That was the difference between winning and losing. Kingsley, Kane Corns, his father, of course, coached the Adelaide Crows for 4 seasons, their first 4 in the competition. Couldn't find Wakelin, found Van Berlo, kicks inside 50, Perry and Henschel, they could have raffled it.
Smart play from Van Berlo. The last kick he did, he summed it up pretty well, and he hit the hot spot again and nearly created a goal. That time there, just out-muscled Darryl Wakelin, which is a good effort in itself, then summed up that he had a bit of space, then delivered beautifully, and Perry and Henschel could have raffled it. Personally, I wouldn't have minded if it was in Trent Henschel's hands.
Ian Perry, he's in good goal-kicking form, though. 6 goals from 22 possessions for North Adelaide in the SANFL last week. And you're right, Bix, probably would have been better off if Trent had had the shot.
No doubting that Nathan Van Berlo's a smart guy. We dubbed him, didn't we? Let's not go through that again.
You've either got to be very, very clever or be smart to wear number 7 for Adelaide, Dennis.
That's right. Short one comes in. Interesting, too. Number 26 is on the ground. Comes with the inbuilt ventricles. Ball goes out towards left half back. This man would have seen number 26 running onto the ground. He'd probably get the shakes. Darryl Wakelin goes short to Kingsley.
Has he forgiven you, Bix? Has he, Darryl?
I'm not sure.
Kingsley goes out wide. In front, Thurston's. McLeod gets back, in trouble, flicks it over his own head and out of bounds. Boundary throw in right on the wing. Showdown 21. Sunday afternoon from Amy's Stadium. 2-3 plays a goal.
You should mention the number 26 is, of course, making his debut, Richard Douglas.
He's playing his first game in Mark Bickley's famous number. He wore to captain Adelaide to 2 premierships. There he is, Richard Douglas. 2 goals for Glenelg last week to play his way into the team. Adelaide's first round pick, pick 16. He's from the Calder Cannons, from the same old club as Barry Hall as well, Broadford. Hopefully he's half the player Barry Hall is. Dowdy trying to get the kick away. Kingsley to Pearce. Long kick, half forward, over the head of the pack. Bassett getting back. Grabbed it, kick a little wobbly. John Cock made to work. Bounces his way through defensive 50. Can have another one if he wants to. Spears the pass. Made it very tough there for Welsh. He was equal to it. Drops it towards attacking 50 to Clark. Doesn't think he's within range. Goes with the bomb to Henschel. Wakelin will rush her behind. And that'll do. Been a good start to this contest.
No doubt that Adelaide are moving it quickly and trying to put pressure on that spot just in front of the goal square. And also Nathan Bassett in fantastic form. Obviously coming back from a week off. Looks like he's recovered from that hip injury.
Kingsley straight up the middle, intended for Kane Corns. Shirley knocks it goalward, having spilt the mark. Salopek back to Corns. No room in there. Riley. Here's Douglas in his first game. Hand passes outside the 50, and we've got a whistle and a free kick to the first gamer.
But he joined the elite club. Has he had a kick yet?
No.
Well.
So this is it. Still, doesn't matter what happens, we'll get him into some sort of club this afternoon. This is a first goal with the first kick club. This will test him. He's right on the 50. Douglas kicks from exactly the 50 and hits the post. He's joined the club of players with their first kick in league footy to hit the post.
Now, Dennis, we've had a record year this year of posters, the most posters this year than any other year in football history.
In the history of humans, Bix, yes. We're watching it very closely.
Due into Sean Burgoyne, of course. Michael Ricks for the Saints hit the post with his first kick in AFL football this year, but it was paid a goal. Oh. It's a different club altogether.
That is. That's a very elite club.
See, gets it to half forward for Port Adelaide with Matner. Getting back at half back. Dobson. John Cock. Former Port Adelaide SANFL player Graham John Cock to Perry. Looks inboard. Got the pass option. Hits Welsh. 1, 2, 3 Graves.
Ooh.
He's been paid. No grass on it. According to the umpire, it was right on the spot, Scott McLaren.
That movement from Adelaide was fantastic. It was brought about by Matner, but just the linking of the handball, the run through the middle, spotting up of Perry, him playing on.
Oh, was a bit of grass there.
That is what Adelaide have been about in the first half of the year, so they'd be happy with the way that looks like they're recapturing some form here.
Already had 7 scoring shots to the 1. Welsh has just missed to the near side. Only a behind, so 8 scoring shots to 1 to start this term.
Umpire McLaren actually was behind the man taking the mark and the man chasing him, so he didn't have a very good view. Stewie Jew. Beautiful telling kick out to right half back. Corns towards midfield. Logan, clever mark. Now he can run. Goes down towards the 50. Clears John Cock and Ebert. Ebert coming up on the lead. Swooping behind. Sockering towards the boundary line was Hart. Getting across on the angle. Marnie pushed as he kicked. It goes straight up in the air. John Cock has to wait. Now Hart. And it knocked away by White. Spills to Ebert. Sharp angle. Right across the face. Will it stay in? No, it won't. It's out of bounds in the right full forward pocket. Good start to this game. Certainly Adelaide looking crisper as the time of possession. That crispness reflected in those figures. Lay trying to work it down behind. Kane Corns in the grass. Rutten in the row. Nothing really onto that side of the ground, the far side, so he goes straight across to the pocket, but Bock will look up and see nothing at all. Henschel will have to break hard for him. Good running by Henschel, rather casual by Chaplin, and Henschel takes the mark.
I don't think Chaplin thought Henschel was going to drop to the boundary side.
Sneaky.
Gave him the opportunity and Henschel got there. Provided the option they needed. Edwards pokes it. Dangerous. Salopek knocked it down from Biglands. He tried to thread a handball through. Does thread it through. Henschel, Riley, 55 from goal, loads up long to the goal square, pack flies off hands. Good chance here for Corns to dive in and try and stop it from getting into Van Berlo's hands. He didn't. It comes all the way back to Kingsley, thought of rushing it behind. Goes wide. Henschel nearly raked it in Jordan-like. With one hand couldn't get a ball in as Matthew Clark has a rest for the Adelaide Crows.
Adelaide looking dangerous on their forward line, but missing 2 of their top 3 goal scorers this season. Rashudo 44, Burton 39. One down by Lade. Storming after it, Biglands breaks a tackle, but fell to the ground now. Shirley deep in the pocket, goes looking for Welsh. He's had plenty of it so far. This kick goes straight up in the air, not 15. Knights falling to the ground. A hand pass to Bode. Weighs it up, snaps at goal, and misses to the near side. He knew where the goals were, and he gave it a bit of thought.
You always worry in this situation when you've had stacks of the footy. They've had 9 shots to 1, that they haven't translated that into scoreboard pressure, and Port to be pretty thankful at the moment they're not a bit further behind.
Now due to bring it in. His last kick was telling. Tries to disguise this one. More a chip up towards midfield. Salopek, still outside the 50, is awarded the free kick. Comes across the ground. Kingsley peeling off his leg. Kingsley needs to get back off the mark. Didn't work hard enough going back, but still time to chip it out to Lade. At the interchange gates then. Lower offers a lead. That's ignored. Willett's on the ground. Kingsley off. The man who kicked the ball to Lade. He goes down towards the 50. Bentley was up. Flicked away by Bock. Taken by Edwards. The look away hand pass to Bock. Clears a path. Not his best kick, bounces towards Dew in trouble, stood up in the tackle, lower now, taken down strongly by Goodwin, piling in his Bock. And Bock actually may have ruined Goodwin's chances of getting a free kick there.
Just the difference between a seasoned AFL player with a big body and Goodwin was able to stop lower and just smash him to the ground.
Crows have already used all their interchange. We've played 18 minutes into this opening term. Matner got it to Riley. Kicks toward the wing. Little knockdown was good from Thomas. Got it to Kane Corns. Chip kick. White. Too far out to score. Lead comes to the pocket from Willits. Goes to the second gamer who flies. Can't get a hand on it. And gave away a free kick. So he did some damage at least. And it's to Matner's back. Jason McCartney.
Yeah, just Sean Burgoyne just come off the ground. Robert Shirley's done a terrific job there so far. No influence at all from Sean Burgoyne.
He's a big man too, Will. It's not exactly the bloke you want cannoning into the back of you.
No. Burgoyne off the ground with 2 possessions. And Matner about to join him. But as you can see, sprinting off under his own steam.
He's living up to his nickname at least with destroying a couple. Bruce Willits, they call him.
So Douglas is back on. He came off after that poster. There's Bassett. Well, he believes in the youngster. I think it goes to Riley, but look, for a moment he's going to kick it to Douglas, who was the longer lead. Now Riley chips it up towards Edwards. Started very well, Edwards, plenty of the football. Spots Biglands. Biglands plays on immediately. Kicks inside the forward 50. Welsh trying to make it a chest mark. It falls to Bode. Wants his left boot from 45 metres out. Well, he's missing by degrees. His first snapshot was a goal. His next a behind. And now he's put this one out of bounds on the full.
Where to next then?
He'll kick the score for Port Adelaide. 10 shots at goal to 1 at the moment. Adelaide 2-7, Port Adelaide 1 straight. Chip kick, made it tough for Lower. Chip kick from him. Outside defensive 50. Bouncing ball. Thomas pushed off it by Shirley. Dives back in. Good contest. And we'll get a ball up half forward for the Adelaide Crows.
One of the reasons Bode's getting a few of those opportunities, I've mentioned a couple of times, Adelaide just seem to be playing on it at all costs and getting it in there, and if they don't mark it, there's some crumbing opportunities for the smaller players.
Thompson steals it from that ball up, kicks it inside 50. Goodwin, front of the pack. Uncharacteristic position for him, but he took it strongly.
And against some quality opposition, you saw Bishop and also Corns there, just was able to hold it. Simon, great kick on the run, probably not as good with the set shot.
2 premierships by the age of 22, Simon Goodwin, and a magnificent career, and that is a magnificent kick.
Hi, Trish. Looking for something bigger?
Yeah, if we can afford it.
Maybe we should have a chat.
Well, that'd be good. What now?
Sure, why not?
That's another example of the wizard why not attitude. A local wizard manager who runs the branch, owns the branch. A wizard you'll find we say, why not?
Approaching quarter time in this showdown, and you've got to say the signs are not good for Port Adelaide. 10 scoring shots to 1. Lade beaten by Biglands. Edwards again digs it out of the middle. Lower in the road, upended as he kicks. The kick spills out towards the wing as a result. Van Berlo bit a couple of them. Advantage was paid. Downey kicks inside the 50. Hart had it knocked away by Bishop. Trying to spin out of trouble down there was Thompson. He's taken to the ground. We'll have the ball up about 55 metres out from Adelaide's attacking goal. But it's all one-way traffic at the moment.
Indeed, and starting from the centre square.
That's right. And that's unexpected. Biglands tapped it down. Scramble develops at his feet, and the umpire will do it again.
I guess 2 of the players that have been so good for Port around the stoppages, Sean Burgoyne, who's been quiet, is now on the fence, and also Daniel Pearce.
Burgoyne waiting to come back on. Here's Salopek. He started okay. He's at centre-half back. Kicks inside the centre square. Willets had it knocked away by Rutten. Chad Corns left it behind. Creating the path was Rutten. Van Berlo kicks to half forward. Bode in front. Flying over the top is Thomas. Pumps it back inside the centre square, but Riley all the time in the world. Chips out wide now. Downey can lay it off. He goes to Edwards, who runs to 50. Kicks from more central location from behind. Henschel forced to spoil. What'll he do this time? Well, he's working his way back in sequence, out of bounds, behind goal. So the next one certainly will be a goal. There's no question about that. Matthew Bode, though, very dangerous on the forward line.
Fairly accurate season coming into this afternoon's game. 25 goals, 16 for the year.
Tyson Edwards crossing 50. I would have liked him to have a shot. He tried to put it to the advantage of Trent Henschel, but highly skilled player.
Jeez, Salopek went back to Wakeland. The last line of defence, Darryl Wakeland. Best team man for Port Adelaide last year. What a star he's been for this great club. Goes short. And again, they're hemmed in. Stuart Dew can load up if he wants to and get it outside 50, but doesn't want to get it to a 50-50 contest. He's got no choice. Thurstons and Bassett. Bassett thumps it down. Back in Adelaide Crow hands. Bock inside 50. Henschel getting back. Couldn't take it. Welsh does. He's taken down. Shuffled it out to Bode. He gets the handball back towards Edwards. Left foot kick. And another shot that's out of bounds on the full. So 3 goals, 8, and 2 out of bounds on the full for Adelaide to put Adelaide's 1 goal.
I was watching your man, Den, when Nathan Bassett, when they looked long to go to Thurstons, he almost gave him 10 or 15 metres teasing them to kick it to Thurston so he could get the spoiler, which he did.
Oh, he's a tease, isn't he? Wakeland kicks it very wide. Kane Corns onto the footy. Looks down towards half forward. White breaks for him. White's got it now. Forced to hold up. On the lead is Ebert. The kick is good. He's strong overhead, Ebert. That was a good mark at full pace. 60 metres out. Ambitious kick deep to the pocket. Makes it easy for the defenders. And Bassett, like the cavalry, arrives and knocks it out of bounds.
Yeah, you're right. Ebert, very strong overhead. Had a fantastic game last week, and Graham Johncock will have to be right on his money.
Boundary throw in alongside the behind post. 2.5 minutes out from quarter time. Biglands battling there with Lade. Sean Burgoyne left the ball behind. Riley improvises on the kick with the outside of the boot. Salopek in the grasp. Got the hand pass away. Well, Stewie could have loaded up there. Decided against it. This is Pearce right on the 50. Gentle breeze into his face. Goes towards the pocket. And that's a clever mark by the big guy, Willets.
Also good confidence from Pearce there, because Willets had Rutten right on his tail. He probably had a metre on him. So to back your foot in, knowing that if the kick is not spot on, that it's going to get spoiled, that just shows he's got some real confidence in his leg.
What are the John Cena's about this appearance? He'll kick from about 25. This will tell us a lot. Very deliberate. Tells us something. He misses to the near side.
And his debut last week, Ryan Willets. So this is his first showdown. Actually wearing Damien Hardwick's old number 11. And last week, the first time that had been worn since grand final day when Port Adelaide brought the premiership home. Riley, half-back flank for Adelaide. 90 seconds and counting. Good opening term for them, even though they've been a little inaccurate. Kick popped up and Lade swallowed it. Perry couldn't get near it to take the spoil and wasn't necessarily in the marking contest, and Wakeland didn't enjoy it. Lade inboard. Last chance for a Port Adelaide score. Matthew Thomas. A lot of places to go. Spears it to Cassisi. Has it on the wing. 60 seconds and counting. 26 plays 7. Every Adelaide Crow player now getting back in front of Cassisi as he heads long. Willets will be the flyer. Takes this one. Distance might not be the worry here. It's just the accuracy.
He does have a thumping kick, Dwayne. Interesting, he plays it in the back line for Glenelg, so he's been playing at centre-half back, comes into the team, and he's now playing in the forward line for the Power.
pick 19 back in the 2004 draft from Northern Knights in Victoria. He's yet to kick a goal in his career. Starts it right. It's coming back. It's coming back. Touched on the line. Distance was the worry.
Not a bad effort, though. Judged it well. This is always a hard pocket to kick from. John Cock to bring it in. This margin could have been far worse. 3-8 players 1-2. John Cock to the outer side. Big leap from behind by Bock. Opportunity for McLeod. Clock down to 10 seconds towards half forward Henschel. He moved it quickly enough. Nothing wheelie on inside the forward 50. We're down to 2 seconds. This will do it. Perry's got the ball. He played on. There's the siren. So it's quarter time in the showdown. Interesting first term, but as I said just before that siren, Adelaide could be far further in front. 11 scoring shots to 3, and 2 of those 3 came in the last 30 seconds or so of the term. So Adelaide on top. Port Adelaide will be anxious to press home what advantage this breeze is in the second term. 3-8, 1-2, quarter time at Amy Stadium.
This news update brought to you by Bank SA, South Australia's leading business bank.
Good afternoon. The state opposition has released a detailed plan which would overhaul security measures for the taxi industry. It follows a spate of alleged attacks against passengers and drivers. The details at 6. Police are yet to determine what caused the death of a woman at Semaphore. Her body was found in the backyard early this morning. Overseas, a TV news crew has been struck by 2 Israeli missiles in the Gaza Strip. And Princes William and Harry have again been snapped during a big night out on the town. That's in National 9 News tonight at 6.
When a cop goes down, this lady is on the case. Don't be fooled by her smile. She doesn't stop until it's case closed.
You shot him dead between the eyes.
The Closer, Tuesday, 10 o'clock on 9.
There's a lot that's new in the 2006 Mazda Tribute V6. New style, new safety, new features, and even better economy from its sporty V6 engine. And now from just $36,900, it all points to great value.
That house is haunted. Are you guys mentally challenged? You have to fight that.
Welcome to
Run, Jonah, run it!
the Fun House.
That's really gross.
Monster House.
Only at the movies September 14.
Are you sure that's level?
I use a laser. Because not all lasers are created equal. Black & Decker created the bullseye. With patented technology, it levels itself and finds studs, so you'll get it right the first time. The bullseye from Black & Decker.
How much berry taste can you have in a breakfast cereal? With Sanitarium light and tasty triple berry, quite a lot. Because it's so very tasty, yet so gloriously good for your body. In fact, it's 98% fat-free, yet 100% tasty. Try light and tasty triple berry from Sanitarium.
Adelaide Furniture and Electrical. Hey Joe, how do you keep the prices so low?
It's second hand.
Well, you wouldn't know. Hey Joe, how do you keep the prices so low?
You haggle. Come on, give us a go.
There's lounges, dining, kitchen stuff. Hey Joe, you're not charging enough. Fridges, washers, and TVs.
Everything electrical is guaranteed.
Adelaide Furniture and Electrical.
Off of Port Road.
7 days a week.
Exactly right. I mean, she never comes. Here you go.
Hey, Dole, where's the Munn's Golf Course Green?
Munn's Golf Course Green Lawn Fertiliser. So instant green, you won't believe your eyes.
This week at Right Price, out goes Nabisco Premium Crisp Breads, 3 for $2.49. Just Juice 6-pack, $1.59. And Carb Options Pasta, 5 for $2. Right Price grocery clearance stores, where you gotta go first.
Krakatoa, The Last Days, Wednesday, 9:30 on 9.
The 2006 Toyota AFL Premiership season proudly brought to you by Wizard Home Loans. We say, why not? Metropolitan Plumbing, emergency plumbing 24 hours, 7 days a week. And Hungry Jack's. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's. Oh, yeah.
Showdown 21 at Amy Stadium, and it's the Adelaide Crows by 18 points at quarter time, 38-26 to 1-2-8. Bode, Walsh and Goodwin, the goal kickers for the Adelaide Crows. Salopek, the sole goal kicker for Port Adelaide. Neil Craig, who's been under a little bit of pressure in the last month, having a chat to Andrew McLeod, one of his guns. And Mark Williams also having a chat to a couple of his guns who weren't getting a lot of the ball. Sean Burgoyne, only 2 possessions in that opening term, and he has been in sensational form recently. 28 possessions last week and 26 possessions in the showdown earlier this year. Jason McCartney on the boundary.
Yes, Dwayne, look, a definite directive from Neil Craig to the Crows to play on quickly and take risks at all costs, get in that forward line. Another really positive move was Simon Goodwin spending time in the midfield, but when he's resting, he's actually resting deep forward, and he's been able to score a goal early up as well. The thing for Port, they're just being very reactive in the midfield at the moment, the centre stoppages and clearances, and to rectify that, Stewie Jew's gone in the middle now.
Good on you, Jace. Salopek 10 possessions, leads all comers. Kane Corn 6, Logan has 5. Edward 7, Dan Burlow 6, Bode 6.
Clearances, Den 11 to Adelaide, 6 to Port. So that's a very important stat. Also, hardball gets 12 to Adelaide, 6 to Port, getting in over it.
Chad Corn's just 3 possessions. McLeod just 3. Start of the second term, margin 18 points. Shirley goes down. Spills wide. Pierce the look-away hand pass. Thomas. Now Kingsley on the overlap. Sends it down towards half forward. Ebert once more. Starting the lead deep. Pushing up the ground. 75 metres out again. Kicks towards the pocket. Knocked away by Bassett. There's McLeod. 4th possession with the outside of the boot. Over the top, Ebert. Missed it. He was overcommitted. John Cock comes away. Tyson Edwards juggles it close to the boundary line. Decides to hesitate. Now just pops it over the top. John Cock. They need those prime movers, the catalysts. Sean Burgoyne, Chad Corns, to start getting the football. John Cock to half forward. Van Berlo just slipping away from Pierce. Improving player.
Very fit player, Van Berlo, in the Brett Burton mould. So just showing that moving around, they're willing to use him.
Back to John Cock. He's on the wing. Go over the top to Shirley as they finesse with the football. Alongside McLeod's got it now. Goes inside the forward 50. Working in front. Thompson. Well, he was tackled in midair. No free kick. Kingsley. Chaplin. And now Bentley. He's at left half back.
Had a good game last week, Bentley. With his body on the line a few times. Goes wide with the kick. Salopek. Great start continues for him, or through Jew's legs. Just hard to do. They're like billiard table legs. He's over it now. Shuffled out towards Kane Corns. Shoots the handball out wide. Brogan. Inside 50, Cassisi. Through traffic. Can have a shot now. Doesn't really want to. Gives it off to Salopek. Didn't really want it. Back to Cassisi. Half court. Shrugs the tackle. Might still get the kick away just in time. Not holding the ball. Crows get numbers back. Downey. John Cock gets it wide towards Perry. Bouncing ball on the wing. Shut down. Dragged across the line by Matthew Thomas. And Thomas in his first showdown lets Perry know
I think
he's equal to the task.
Dom Cassisi could have had a shot 5 times. He didn't look like he wanted to kick it. Great play from Adelaide to finally halt that forward movement.
We all would have had a shot at least 4 times from the ball in. Brogan back of the pack. Jew was held. And Stuart Jew will take the free. He's just beyond his range. He's on the wing.
Pierce calling for the ball. Jew indicating Pierce should move, so he kicks it to where Pierce should have gone. I've never seen that before.
He made a statement.
Van Berlo goes back. Took the mark, gave it to John Cock, who finds McLeod. McLeod across the ground. Tyson Edwards again, bobbing up everywhere. He has played on. He's gone forward to the mark. Staying off him is Wakeland. Eventually, Edwards with a lazy kick down towards half forward. Welsh. Dowdy back to Welsh, 70 metres out, getting a bit easy now for Adelaide, finding space. This is Bock, got it from Clark, trying to bend it back on the breeze, just misses. Signs not good for Port. Boy from Oz doing the Oz thing.
The boy from Port Adelaide didn't get it right.
He's tucking into a pie.
Exactly.
What more, anything more Australian than that?
Port Adelaide scarf, having a pie with sauce. Playing to sell-out shows at the moment. Corns flies. Did get paid the mark. He held it long enough. Nice mark for Chad Corns.
Adelaide were away too.
Held up at half-back. Pokes it to Kingsley. He's held up. Didn't play in the showdown earlier this year. Adam Kingsley, fourth game of the year, and finally plays on straight down the middle to Salopek, and now they can go down the middle, though he wants to pan White. Bouncing ball. Thomas has got White inboard. White back into the corridor. Bouncing ball. Made it tough for Bentley. Equal to it though. The Jew. The 1-2. Inside 50 from Bentley's boot. Hoping for and finding Lade. Brilliant one-hander. He's either going to be All-Australian ruckman or on the bench in the All-Australian team this year, you would think, Brendan Lade. He has had a sensational season.
Well, we talked before the game about how when he's not in the ruck that he can go forward and be dangerous, and that just proved how right we were, because he's on a great player in Rutten, but just was able to use his body strength to hold him out and just take it very cleverly in one hand, and is a very good set shot at goal.
Had a superb career. Local boy, done good. Kangaroo Island's greatest ever export. He lines up from 45 and slots it.
Have your cake and eat it too at A&R's 16th birthday sale. Great, right in the lap. Speaking of laps, save on this Toshiba laptop, just $8.49 after $100 Toshiba cashback. Samsung Laser gets laser printer for a tiny $1.99, includes extra toner. Or this net-ready computer package with DVD burner and multifunction printer for a crazy $9.99. Savings are store-wide, so clean up at A&R.
Chicken nuggets? Oh yeah, love them. Now take a look at these mega nuggets. That's more like it. And they come with this freaky dipping sauce. Add Coke and fries and you've made a meal of it. Oh yeah.
The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Brendan Lade has 17 goals for the season. Port's first goal since the 6-minute mark. The opening term, Salopek got that goal. It only got 2. Shirley. Van Berlo out of the middle down towards centre half forward in from the side. Chad Corns off the ball. Free kick is going to Lower. Plays on immediately to Kingsley. Kingsley over the top to Corns, so he finishes up with the football anyway. Poor kick though, working in front Goodwin. Got around Kane Corns to kick it back to the pocket. Will it stay in? Some indecision between Bode and Welsh. And Bode indicating that perhaps he needed a little more from Welsh that time. That was the look-away talking.
That's it, no coincidence. Port Adelaide just getting back in a little bit when Chad Corns starts to take a few marks around the place. He is a real barometer of this team.
Brilliantly done by Clark, down to Henschel, who snaps and misses. So often we see that from Brendan Lade, just flicking it over the back. That time Clark able to do it, but the goal didn't eventuate. So Adelaide get their 10th behind. They're 3-10, Port at 2-2.
Gaining a reputation for playing well in showdowns too, Trent Henschel. 3 goals and 20 possessions, best on ground of the showdown earlier this year. Sean Burgoyne finds Lade. They've got a spark, Port Adelaide. Lade can send it long. The lead comes from Bentley inside 50. Dumped down by Hart. Magnificent spoil by Hart, his trademark. And a free kick's been found. It'll go Port Adelaide's way. Even will take it.
This time it's Port Adelaide who are putting pressure on Adelaide by getting the ball quickly into those really hot spots in the forward line. And that time they went for Bentley.
He was held.
Had a handful of Guernsey. They went for Bentley, who 40 metres out dead in front. And if they don't mark it and the ball comes to ground, there's still a real chance of scoring, and Ebert got the free.
Coming off a 4-goal, 3-game last week, Brett Ebert. And here they come, Port Adelaide.
Call 1-800-NO-DRIP. Call 1-800-NO-DRIP. Call 1-800-NO-DRIP. Call 1-800-NO-DRIP. Call Metropolitan Plumbing when your tap is dripping or your drains are blocked. Call Metropolitan Plumbing for hot water replacement and pay no interest ever. Call Metropolitan Plumbing. All areas, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Call 1-800-NO-DRIP.
Exactly the point you were making, Mark, early in that final, or first term rather. If you don't take your chances, it can come back and bite you. Adelaide in that situation, although Clark puts it off to Doughty. Doughty goes down towards half forward. Henschel threw himself at the footy, took the mark on his chest. 3-10, plays 3-2. Henschel just sets it up. That's a clever kick. Bode getting in behind the defence.
And you like his chances, Dan?
Yep. Cherry ripe for this one. It's kicked it everywhere this afternoon.
Henschel's a good player. He's got some real mobility for a guy his size. We saw him take the ruck tap before and almost snap a goal. That time there, he was the player leading up and presenting. And just a very clever kick to Matthew Bode, who was given too much space in Adelaide's forward line.
26 goals for the season. Coming in 7 goals in the last 2 weeks, and this one is accurate.
It's the dawn of a new age in driving. Introducing the all-new Holden Commodore. Designed from the word go to be one of the most exciting cars in the world. With electronic stability program standard for added safety. And with linear control suspension, it leaves the competition in the Stone Age. The all-new Holden Commodore. Go like never before.
Second goal for Matthew Bode, playing his 20th game of the season. 7 possessions, 2 goals, 2, and just the 1 mark. But only 2 games last year, Matthew Bode. So the season, by comparison, outstanding from the ball up. Trying to get a little handball out was Logan, and got slung after he did knock it away. And he gets the takeaway for Port Adelaide. Brogan, and now Pearce, held up. Oh, sold the dummy to Clark, backed himself to get around, slips it inside 50, Lade, had it thumped clear by Rutten, ball in Rutten's direction, he slaps it back towards Lade, Pearce stole it, Box got him, Logan again, caught over it, got it out to Rutten, still hot in there, Cassisi to Pearce, sends it to full forward, big fly, John caught the crumb, off the deck, money!
Have your cake and eat it too at A&R's 16th birthday sale. Great, right in the lap. Speaking of laps, save on this Toshiba laptop, just $8.49 after $100 Toshiba cashback. Samsung laser, yes, laser printer for a tiny $1.99, includes extra toner. Or this net-ready computer package with DVD burner and multifunction printer for a crazy $9.99. Savings are store-wide, so clean up at A&R.
Opportunistic work from Josh Marnie, Port's leading goal scorer this season now with 27. Port have got 3 of the 4 goals kicked in this term. Due to Kingsley, Salopek back to Kingsley, inside the centre square to Brogan with some time and space. Brogan, the high ball inside the forward 50. Ebert working down there, forced to spoil, knocked it away from John Cock, goes after his own crumb, taken brilliantly front on by Goodwin. We've got a whistle and a free kick is going to Marnie. Taken high, says the umpire, and no doubting it.
Actually, the last, since the start of this quarter, Port Adelaide have been getting in there and getting after it and just, I guess, forcing a lot of the free kicks out, forcing Adelaide to tackle them, forcing them to put pressure on them.
And doing better inside the centre square, aren't they?
Absolutely, and they've just been a little bit sloppy, Adelaide. You can't afford to be sloppy when you're inside the opposition's forward 50.
Free kicks. Port Adelaide 9, Adelaide 5. Josh Marnie comes in at his second in the space of a minute. Hangs it out to the right, it's a behind. Hart in quickly, comes to McLeod. Port Adelaide bring it out. Intended for Riley, 8 possessions in the opening term. He's got it just forward of right half back. 4-10 plays 4-3. Riley to Goodwin. Now he runs on, does Riley. Edwards has got the football, looking to delay it. Pearce read it like a book. Stole it away. A couple of bounces. Runs down to the 50. Can he kick truly? No. Hangs it out again to the right. And back goes Hart. Well, he should have done better, the young man, but it was brilliant the way he stole the ball. He knew what was coming. It was 3-on-1 on the wing. Kane Corns outnumbered as well.
Rutten to Bassett, as they so often do. Set it up for Adelaide. Thompson shrugs a tackle, sends it long towards attacking 50. Henschel got the fly, didn't bring the ball down. Corns, Chad to Wakeland. Darrell back to Corns. Long ball now, Port Adelaide with the numbers. White, ball knocked down to Marnie. Campbell to Kane, Corns. Got an option inside 50 at Siebert. If you can get there. Thump clear. And we'll get a ball in.
Port Adelaide player very slow to get up. There we see Daniel Pearce. He made Tyson Edwards make a decision, and he wasn't going to commit to him. And then as soon as Tyson bounced it, he committed and tried to tackle him. Just wasn't able to finish it off.
Yeah, golden opportunity to make a statement to Daniel Pearce. Not that he hasn't this year in general. From the ball in, McLeod backtracks. Sends it all the way back to Hart. Oh, he played on. Willits has got him. Umpire's called it a play on. And now he sends it out of bounds on the full. Well played, Ryan Willits. Might be his first showdown up against a man that's played 311 games. But he did brilliantly there. Shorts it to Ebert. Too far out for him to score.
He has got a thumping leg, but this is going to be right on his limit. This is the danger for players. You don't try and kick the goal and lob it on the line and get it punched through. You just sit it up to a dangerous spot.
And that's what he does, to the top of the square rather than the goal line. And Bigland's getting back. Speaking of ex-Port Adelaide boys, was on the power list. And a saving mark to McLeod. And he chips it to the pocket to Thompson.
Thompson out wide, setting Bassett a task. Burgoyne and Bassett, the 2 number 8s, and the ball goes out of bounds, and I'd say good result for Adelaide.
Damon White just coming from the ground. He was caught up in a marking contest, landed very heavily. He's been in the hands of the trainers for the last minute, now coming off the ground.
Salopek and Kingsley moving into the frame there. Salopek has been good throughout. Lade hooks it down behind Shirley. Hurriedly out of the congestion, floats it down towards half forward. Henschel got it on the ground. Douglas in trouble. Hand passes up in the air. McLeod circles the football. Delays taking it. Now backhands it to Thompson. Stolen away though by Kane Corns. Towards the wing. Lade lacking support. Hand passes about 25 metres and the boundary was in his mind. But Edwards gets back. Keeps it in. Chips it along the line. The mark is taken by Matner. Matner spots McLeod. Pushing forward now, McLeod. Takes on Thomas. Centering kick. Perry had it knocked away by Pearce. Terrific stuff by the youngster. Bounded on the ground. The short pass to Jew. Jew comes away from half-back and comes to the wing. Thurston's a runner inside. This is Bentley. Down towards the 50. Running out of support. Goes across towards Ebert. Thurston's once more. 55 metres out. Hooks it down towards full forward. Leading back is Hart. It goes out of bounds.
Darrell Wakeland's down and he's hurt. In this contest here, he cannoned into the back of Van Berlo with his head. And he's in a bit of trouble, Darrell Wakeland.
Like hitting a Teutonic plate. Is that it?
Well, he's got a couple of plates in his cheek. And he'd be a little bit worried about his condition at the moment, as the trainers would be. We'll get a ball up. But he's tough. And he's swayed the trainers away. He says he'll be okay, which is good news all round. Power a chance to score here. Lade and Bigland's ball slapped down. Picked up off hands by Cassisi, and he slides it home. made something out of nothing. Dominic Cassisi, as we tick into time on second term. Port Adelaide just 1 point behind.
Oh, hi, Terry.
Oh, hi, Jill. Hey, how's it all going?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks. Actually, we wanted to chat to you about getting our home loan put on...
Pregnant pause? Sure, why not?
That's another example of the wizard why not attitude. Home loans are all about flexibility and being able to talk to your local wizard manager about anything, anytime. At Wizard, you'll find we say, why not?
Call Jim's Mowing on 131 546 and we'll not only mow your lawn, we'll also fertilise your garden. Call your local Jim for more than just mowing.
Well, Port Adelaide coming hard now at the Crows. 4-10-5-3. And Dwayne has corrected me. Tectonic. They're tectonic plates, aren't they? Our man Van Burlo studies. Cassisi dragged down Jew. What did I have? A plutonic plate. Coming away as Bentley. It certainly wasn't that. Goes short and finds Burgoyne. And suddenly a chance for Port Adelaide to grab the lead.
Well, we talked in the first quarter about how important that centre square was, and we've just seen in the second quarter Port Adelaide just been able to do it so much better. And that's a great forward handball by Stuart Jew. Just sets Bentley off in space, and then he delivered beautifully to Sean Burgoyne, who can kick a footy.
Amazing transformation has come over this game then. Margin was 18 points at quarter time. Burgoyne comes in, kicks Troy. And guess what? Port Adelaide are in front. They lead by 5 points.
Whew, technology moves incredibly fast these days. So if you want to see the very latest in computers and IT, race into radio rental. Check out the biggest range of all the big brands. Check the biggest. You can rent with no deposit and no application fees. Check. No deposit rental. For the very latest technology, SA's biggest electrical retailer is IT. You'd be mad to shop anywhere else.
Sean Burgoyne with Graham Johncock, they're two good friends. In fact, the two of them were in Sean Burgoyne's brother Peter Burgoyne's lounge room on draft day and watched Port Adelaide pick Sean Burgoyne and the Adelaide Crows pick Graham Johncock. That's how good of friends they are. And they're on each other at the moment, and Port Adelaide inspired. They're in front for the first time today. Riley on the wing. Ties the ball up, and the umpire will sort this out with the ball up just as Matthew Thomas was trying to sneak away with it. Neil Craig with some work to do at the moment.
Port Adelaide won that centre clearance again. 5-2 this quarter. They're leading those contests.
Bigland's down in Goodwin's direction. Couldn't sneak clear. Once again, players diving in. Corns got a handball and a little push. Biglands rolls it towards half forward. Chaplin did magnificently. Got it to Cassisi. Caught. Got a kick away. All the way back to Wakeland. Play on advantage if they want to. They don't. It'll come back to Dominic Cassisi. Free kick against Trent Henschel.
Cassisi then. He's taking a breather at left half back. Former East Fremantle player. Told to play on. Fine player for Port. His time here. Kicks it to the wing. Fell forward. Shirley. Goodwin makes it very hard for Knights, who by keeping it alive virtually gave it to Salopek. Now a chance for Lade. They're playing in a phone box and the ball is out of bounds. Let's go down to Jason.
Yeah, one of the turnarounds this corner has been Chad Corns. He's gone back to play regular centre-half back. And what that's allowed them to do to start a more noticeable or recognised centre clearance player in the middle.
Wide of the pack, a chance for Goodwin. Releases McLeod. Runs to the 50. McLeod lines up, trying to work it back right to left. Never gave it a chance. Just sneaks it in for a behind.
Coming off a 25-possession game last week, Andrew McLeod. They need him to kick those, and he does kick them when he's in form. Van Burlo with a turnover. Runs to 50. Loads up. Goes long and gets it. Adelaide back in front.
Now you can have all the finer things in life.
no matter where you are. Choose from our fine finishes at the Rivergum Homes Selection Centre. Rivergum Homes. At home, anywhere.
Technology has made your morning easier. Why not just shave? The Philips Smart Touch XL is designed to shave more, with 3 shaving rings in each shaving head. And now it pivots to stay on your neck, so even tricky hairs are cut. Make every stroke count.
Wonderful work by Matthew Bode. Occupied 2 Port players and gave it to Nathan Van Berlo on a plate. Tectonic, of course. Shirley pushed off the ball, slapped out of there by Clark. Taken by Knights. Goes back to Goodwin. Looks across the ground. There's Mattner still inside the centre square. Riley is breaking for him. Bypasses Riley. Henschel battles with Chaplin. Henschel one on the ground. Can go back if he wants to Riley. Ignores that. Finds Downey on the 50. Will take a good kick from here. Welsh is deep. Perry comes on the lead. Downey looks across the perimeter. Nothing there. And Burlow goes to the pocket. Downey decides to put it up towards the kickoff line. Well, what did he decide? Mark is taken by Chad Corns, uncontested, 5 metres out.
Hard to comprehend that after waiting all that time for someone to be free, then to kick to an uncontested Port player who's never going to make the distance.
Chad Corns to Salopek. Dangerous to Kingsley. And made to earn it by Welsh. Umpire paid the mark. And he didn't hold it long enough. Landed awkwardly, but he looks okay. Salopek runs away from Welsh. Just gets the kick away in time. Burgoyne's got a couple to beat. Riley's one of the 2. Spins out of trouble. Slides the kick. Hoping for Henschel. Strong mark. Centre half forward. The leads come on attacking 50. Perry thought about playing on. Took a half step. And will go back and line up from 50 to extend Adelaide's lead in the shadows of half-time.
Some great work by Scott Welsh. He put on a really good chase. I think it was on Salopek coming out. He forced him to release the ball, which enabled Riley to get the ball and then get it back to Henschel, who then found Perry. So it's that pressure from the forwards, and in particular Welsh, who set this goal up.
Game number 99, I should say, for Ian Perry. Plays 100th next week. And he's yet to kick a goal this afternoon. Starts it right, brings it back, and it's another behind for Ian Perry.
That looked like it came off his shin then, Dwayne. Didn't get great connection at all on that one.
What a sock. No leather.
Inside 50s in this term, 10 apiece. Port trail by 3, having taken the lead about 3 minutes ago. Chad Corns to Wakelin. Generally this afternoon, the Crows have led. Wakelin. Now Cassisi. That plane is back. That wretched plane. Cassisi. Corn set a task, knocked away by McLeod. Cassisi in trouble. They've got the numbers. Bishop, McLeod did very well. Continued to apply pressure. Bock took Thurston's down. Nice hand pass from Edwards. Down he comes to Goodwin. Telling kick. Goodwin. Clark should mark it and does. Directly in front, 40 metres out. Well, they had 3 on 2 Port, and they didn't take advantage and paid the price.
And that's been the hallmark of Adelaide's their trademark game up until the last month, where they've been able to put pressure on the opposition sides and make them cough it up and then hurt them on the rebound. That time they're able to do it. Simon Goodwin lifted his eyes and saw Clark in some space.
Well, to the accompaniment of the Red Baron, Matthew Clark comes in and kicks from 45 metres. Not a reputed goal kicker, but that's a wonderful kick. Straight through the middle.
Despite the demand for Bogue's draft, we insist on testing it up to 30 times.
Mountain, when she comes, yeah, she'll be coming.
It's how we make sure you only get the best.
You mentioned Den, not a reputed goal kicker. His first goal in 15 games this year, Matthew Clark, and I say it's all in the timing. He's yet to play in a premiership. He was at the Brisbane Lions when Adelaide won their 2, and he was at Adelaide when Brisbane won their 3. Knights don't get the kick away decisively, and we might get a ball up to sort it out inside 2 minutes to half-time. That dull hum from that aeroplane above continues to dog everybody here. Full house, though, other than that, bright sunshine. Clark gets it out to Madner. Spears it inside 50, hoping for Henschel, dives, can't collect it. Chad Corns, 90 seconds on the clock, wide to Bentley, takes them on with some run, gets a Shepherd, long kick from him towards Ebert, marks, 55 from goal. Thought about taking Bassett on the jog, now he does. Sends it towards Thurston's, top of the square, got an early leap in, umpire allowed play on, no interference. Willits couldn't thread a handball through decisively. Thurston's, Cassisi to the pocket, to Logan, wants to get it back again, dumped. Richard Douglas takes him out of play, and free kick to Richard Douglas for holding the ball.
Well, that jumper's a tackling machine.
Brett Ebert just adding a few words to Nathan Bassett, but incorrect disposal there, the judgment.
6-12, 6-3. Douglas along the wing. Brogan's got it. A minute to play in the half. Brogan forward of the wing. Chance for one late thrust here by Port Adelaide. Brogan close to the man on the mark. As a result, had to compromise his kick. Bassett gets back, intercepts Cassisi, gives it to Douglas. Darby, now Bassett. Time enough for the Crows here as Bassett goes to half forward. Chad Corns comes up. Wanted to go, thought he did go. Bode certainly thought he went.
Very good mates, those two boys.
Corns told by the umpire that it'll need to come back.
Just makes you wonder, here he is. He just
I reckon that's a full brother playing on.
makes you wonder why Port haven't settled Chad Corns down at centre-half-back. I know they've sort of used him on ball and that, but I just reckon he's an all-Australian centre-half-back. It's such a pivotal role and he attacks so well. I'd like to see him play there every week.
He's taking his time. We're down to 20 seconds. Comes across to Bishop. The margin 18 points at quarter time Adelaide's way, but it was 3-8 to 1-2 really, the telling stat, the number of scoring shots. In this term, Port have come back strongly. 6-12, 6-3, 5 seconds remaining. In front of the pack, Douglas to Darney. The siren could beat them. Leading back is Van Berlo, but there is the siren for half-time. Sunday footy, the showdown. And that was a good quarter from Port Adelaide, although in fairness to the Crows, they settled late. Port Adelaide took the lead about 10 minutes out from half-time, and the Crows came storming back with late goals. Half-time then, 6-12 plays 6-3.
Tonight, investigators stumped by the death of a woman at a beachside suburb. The alternative plan to overhauling taxi security, and all the highlights from Showdown 21.
Local? Yeah, we're local.
Welcome to Tile Wizards. You won't believe what's inside. If you need great tiles for your kitchen, your bathroom, your patio, then you need to get into Tile Wizards. There's the largest range and heaps of pallets. Pallets! Pallets!
Tile Wizards. Big savings, big selection.
Ultimate's Factory Direct run-out sales on this weekend. Everything's drastically reduced with up to 50% off every barbecue, up to 20% off gas log fires, up to 50% off outdoor settings, and up to 30% off every wood heater. Buy direct from the factory and save. Ultimate will beat any price.
Lynn Andrews Real Estate has for sale at Mile End a unique courtyard executive residence with penthouse appeal. The spacious entertaining areas are both indoors and out of doors, separated by sheer glass walls, featuring 2 big bathrooms, a study and double garage. There are intimate views of the linear park beyond the garden wall. For more information, call Lynn Andrews Real Estate on 8234 1212.
Okay, who wants to go on a holiday? Get your bids in right now. Congratulations!
Yes, it's travel auction time. Plan your escape at only the price you choose to pay. The top 50 bidders will be successful. Our package to the popular seaside resort of Moonta Bay on York Peninsula includes 4 nights accommodation at the Moonta Bay cabins, featuring well-equipped kitchens and located just a 5-minute walk from the beach. As part of the package, you also receive a breakfast starter pack and a buy one get one free hotel dinner one night. And choose to travel midweek, we'll give you another night's accommodation absolutely free. Normally $325 for a couple. Today, name your own price. Give me a bit of $295, $280 then. All right, $270. Twist the arm. Whatever. The bid is up to you, and if successful, you've got a year to travel. Most school holidays are available. Come on, popular Moonta Bay and York Peninsula. Yours with up to 5 nights and extras. $325. What's your bid? Call now. 1300 65 65 73. Lines open for 1 hour, so call now with your bid.
At Virginia Nursery, low prices just keep coming. 3-foot Pittosporum Screenmasters, $17.95. Bangalore, Majestic or Alexandra Palms, $9.95 each. And still 20% off all glazed and terracotta pots in stock. Virginia Nursery, Corner Road, Virginia, open every day.
Forget the hype, forget the judges. Only your vote will decide the winner. It's our final and most spectacular show, where they dance the bolero. Torval and Dean's Dancing on Ice, grand finale, Tuesday, 7:30 on 9.
Get Angry Australia.
Why do you refuse to serve Australians?
The restaurant where Aussies are banned.
You're not allowed to touch the camera.
And the Super Slimming Suit, guaranteeing women a perfect shape.
It will reduce your waist up to 6 centimetres.
A current affair Monday.
The 2006 Toyota AFL Premiership season, proudly brought to you by Wizard Home Loans. We say, why not? A&R Computers, the team to beat for great value and service. And Radio Rentals, SA's biggest electrical retailer.
Round 21 rolls on. Showdown 21. Half-time, it's Adelaide by 9 points after they led by 18 at quarter time.
Yeah, well, here we go. Just having a look at some goal kickers. Matthew Bode, Adelaide's leading goal kicker. He's got 2. Heap of guys with singles. Welsh, Bamberla, Goodwin and Clark. Marnie, Ebert, Burgoyne, Salopek, Lade and Cassisi, the goal scorers for Port Adelaide.
And we've talked about it before. The scoring shot certainly favouring Adelaide. And Adelaide could be further in front. You mentioned that approaching quarter time, Mark, the fact that if you don't take your chances, then you pay the price. As we look at some of the goals that they did get early in the game, Adelaide, Matthew Bode has been very dangerous on the forward line.
Yeah, their first quarter work was excellent. They moved the ball quickly. They got the ball to a couple of guys inside 50 who were taking some marks. We saw Perry take one there and hand it off. Here we see Scott Welsh, who featured prominently in the first quarter. He takes a good mark there. So they were just getting it into dangerous spots, and they were either marking it in Perry or Welsh, or was coming to ground and Bode was snapping it up.
And getting it out of the centre and around the clearances, something that did surprise us a little bit as Thompson puts in a high ball. And in front, Goodwin, a marking play.
Yeah, well, he went up there for a rest and kicked the goal, but you mentioned the clearances. Sean Burgoyne in particular is one of the leading clearance players in the competition. Pearce is another one who's great. We know Lade and Brogan are good with their hands. So a little bit surprisingly that they dominated in that first quarter, but to Port's credit, they adjusted and they come out and they did some really good stuff in the second quarter.
Saw Matthew Bode get his second goal. A lot of possessions, missed a few, particularly in that first term. That was very clever, though. Manufactures a goal here for Van Berlo from long range on the 50. And Van Berlo, an improving player, a youngster in what's a veteran team.
Yeah, he's come back from a serious shoulder injury. And, look, he's been pretty good today. Just see some of the late goals here and the late ascendancy that Adelaide were able to get back. A lot of it was from their pressure in not allowing Port to get it out of their forward lines easily. And that one there, they got the ball back to Matthew Clark, and he did very well in slotting his first goal for the year.
Well, Mark, we talked about the centre clearances favouring Adelaide in the opening term. Well, Port addressed that at quarter time, obviously, and came back strongly in the second quarter.
Yes, they did. I think it was 5-3 to Port Adelaide in Port Adelaide's favour in the second quarter. We see Clark get his hand on that one, but just look, they just seemed a bit more hungry, and when they got it out, they got some really good clean ones out. We'll see Cassisi doing some work here. Look at this handball. That's a really attacking forward handball. Sets Bentley off in some space, and he puts it on Sean Burgoyne's chest, and he scores a goal. So that there is just first hand on the ball, and then some good, short, quick hands to be able to clear the area.
Just looking at those first hands, we didn't see Burgoyne involved. He was once wide, but generally it was other players, lesser-known players, getting in under the pack.
Yeah, Cassisi and Corns, two guys that know how to get their hands in the footy, and often played a lot of footy where they tag players, so they've played on good players and probably understand how it operates in that middle square.
Port Adelaide's opening goal coming up. Salopek on the run. Their opening goal was the only one they got in that first term.
He's been pretty durable this year, Steve Salopek.
Yep.
He came over here with big raps, had a lot of problems with injury in his first couple of seasons, but this year he's been able to put games together on end, and he's become a pretty important cog in the Port Adelaide midfield machine. We saw him there finish pretty well.
Mentioned one goal in the opening term, 5 in the second quarter. That was a terrific mark by Brendan Lade.
Well, look, he's a class player, and we see him. He's doing some work there in the middle and dishing off well. But he really does give him a target, and he's a bit like up the other end. We said if he doesn't mark it, he brings it to ground, and he did that a few times and created some opportunities. Free kick there to Ebert. He's been good. He's led up the ground and provided a target. He's played on a couple of plays. He had Bassett at one stage, John Cock at another stage, and looks really dangerous. And here we just see a bit of pressure from Port Adelaide, and Marnie just mopping up after a spillage in the goal square.
Had a good spell on that second term, Marnie, but it's fair to say that Ebert has been their most dangerous forward, which is good news, but also bad news, because they haven't been able to really get a tall focal point down there, except on a couple of occasions when Lader's gone down and taken the odd mark. But by and large, it's been Ebert on the lead and even going for the high ball.
Yeah, look, Thurston's and White were the two players they would have liked, and even Willits when he comes on to provide that. But unfortunately, Damon White's found himself on the sidelines with an injury, and Thurston's hasn't really been able to impose himself on the game.
Interpret these for us, if you will.
Yes, well, we look at that. Shots a goal. Adelaide had almost double the amount of shots that Port have had, but they just haven't been able to put that into any sort of ascendancy on the scoreboard. Inside 50s, Adelaide just marginally in front. Marks inside 50s is a big one, and I would suggest that most of that has taken place in the first quarter where they took a number of marks, but look, it's still a pretty even ball game. Disposals per goal are pretty similar, but look, really interested to see how they come out in the second half. And I think we've got a game on our hands.
I think we have too. Half-time is the Crows by 9 points. Coming up shortly, we'll be talking with the Port Adelaide skipper, Warren Treadray.
It's Sunday night's big new series. Already a mammoth ratings hit. And this adventure just gets bigger and bigger. We've tackled the bad boy T-Rex, but you'll never guess what's still to come. Whoa. Sunday nights have never been bigger. Prehistoric Park continues tonight, 6:30. Is your TV big enough?
Time is running out for your bid in today's travel auction. Be one of the top 50 bidders and you escape with today's package to Moonta Bay. It includes up to 5 nights accommodation at the Moonta Bay Cabins. Just 5 minutes from the beach, you get a breakfast starter pack and a buy one, get one free hotel dinner. Normally $325 for a couple. Ring now, bid what you want to pay, and if successful, you've got a year to travel. Most school holidays are available. 1300 65 65 73. Call now with your bid.
What other glazier can you expect to see within half an hour and have the job completed there and then? What Other Glazier is South Australian owned and quality assured for superior service. What other? None other than My Glazier.
Premises sold by auction. Talking Furniture closing down. Not relocating. Not reopening. All new and used furniture must clear. Talking Furniture.
It's the dawn of a new age in driving. Introducing the all-new Holden Commodore. Designed from the word go to be one of the most exciting cars in the world. With electronic stability program standard for added safety and with linear control suspension, it leaves the competition in the Stone Age. The all-new Holden Commodore. Go like never before.
never seen anything like this. On 60 Minutes, the doctors who promise you can live forever.
They're placed in here.
For the first time, how they actually do it, freezing this woman ready to bring her back to life in the future.
I love life.
Also, she's sexy, she's smart, she's pink.
Screw him.
And she's on the warpath against Paris and pop trash. Toyota presents 60 Minutes, tonight, 7:30 on 9.
Half-time at Amy Stadium, and the margin is 9 points. Adelaide's way is 6-12, play is 6-3. Matthew Boder's booted 2. Well, we've pulled him away from hanging out with Hugh Jackman. We've got the Port Adelaide skipper with us now, Warren Treadway. Good afternoon, Warren.
G'day, boys. How are you?
How's Hugh going? Is he enjoying this?
Yeah, he loves his footy. Just met him just then, and it looks like he wants to jump out there and put on a Guernsey. So, yeah, we haven't had too many guys on our injury list, which is a bit of a joke at the moment. We didn't have too many to pick from, but he might be quite handy come the second half.
Well, we know he's fit. Just taking a look at that, he wouldn't have enjoyed the first term too much, just the 1 goal, but the second quarter 5. And obviously it started to work inside the centre square for Port.
Yeah, it is. You know, Adelaide are one of the best teams in the, you know, the inside the midfield, and, you know, our clearances, I think we're up to 1 or 2 in the comp, and, you know, we couldn't get clear on a couple of occasions, but, you know, I think some of our smaller guys and unheralded guys got us back in the game. You know, Evert was looking pretty dangerous in the forward line. I know Willet's come on, had a couple of shots on goal. Sean Burgoyne started to get his hands on the footy, and, you know, even Bentley. So it was a real positive for us to get back in the game when probably, look at the start, we probably should have been out of it by 5 or 6 goals at the Crows kick straight.
Warren, you mentioned you only had about 24 guys to pick from, so almost out of necessity you played some young kids, and to date they haven't let you down. Logan, Bentley, you mentioned, they've all been fantastic when they've been given an opportunity.
Yeah, it is, that's true, and you probably look at, you know, anyone can say it's an excuse, we've got a lot of people out injured. Well, it's a reality, and the facts are that probably our younger guys are the ones that have carried this last 4 or 5 weeks, and, you know, we've had some games where we could have won, we're very, very close, but, you know, obviously the games that we have won, they've been the ones that have been the major contributors and probably added a new dimension to our team.
Warren, I know it hurts missing any game, but in particular a showdown, how do you feel just watching this one?
Oh, it's no different. I've come to reality that I'm not going to be out there for the rest of the year some time ago, but, you know, it's still saying during the week you still go to training, and, you know, at times you think, oh, well, I could do without training once or twice, but when you come to the game you get a little bit excited. I'm still buzzing now. Sitting in the coach's box doesn't help that situation, but at least you feel you can contribute because there's such a young list and there's a lot of guys who are willing to listen.
Well, speaking about your own health, where are you exactly?
I'm still on these babies, and I've got 3 more weeks on them. So I've got a situation. I've got to stay in this brace in my knee for 6 weeks. Once that's up, then I'll start walking and going through that process. So, and the reason behind the situation why I did have it done so early is because it's going to take a fair time to get over and be ready for round 1 next year, which I can't wait for.
Well, Mark was talking about the young players. You're pretty upbeat about next season for Port?
Oh, no doubt. You can only look at our team and see the guys who played under 20 games, and they're playing like they're 100-game players. You know, even some of those guys have gone off and had operations. You know, Symes is another one, Surgeon's another one who have really added to our mix. We've got a heap of leg speed, which probably the last 12 months we've probably gone away from a bit, and that's one real key factor of us winning the premiership a couple of years ago. So I'm just hoping I can get back, and it's a bit hard sitting on the sidelines because the fact is the guys are playing so well, and I wouldn't mind being a forward leading to some of those kicks.
Well, we'll let you get back to Hugh. He must be shattered when he saw you on crutches. He couldn't pass on any dance tips to you.
Sorry, I missed that one. It's a bit loud down here.
I said you must be shattered not being able to dance much and get any tips off Hugh since you're being on crutches.
You know, I can't dance at the best of times. I need a couple of, I think club re-signed West End, so I need a couple of drafts to get in the system before I even think about dancing.
Well, he's generally the male lead. Thank you very much, Warren.
No worries, boys. Thanks a lot.
OK, 9 points the difference at half-time. One other game being played this afternoon. Collingwood against Carlton. Replays are scheduled later. If you don't want to know the score, I suggest you look away now. OK, 9 points, as I say. We'll be back with the second half of the showdown right after this.
This news update brought to you by Bank SA, South Australia's leading business bank.
Good afternoon. It's been a lucky escape for a young driver of a Commodore last night after finding a very unusual parking spot. The woman lost control of the car on Pulteney Street, smashing through the front doors of an apartment block. Also tonight, police search for answers after a 53-year-old woman was found dead in the backyard of her semaphore home this morning. The two princes caught on camera during their wild night out. And in sport, all the highlights, of course, of today's big day of AFL action. See you at 6.
Sam Neill and Alex Dimitriades.
I was supposed to just toss 6 families out of their homes.
2 men faced with a devilish choice.
What does he want, Raleigh?
Brian Brown's Too Twisted. Monday, 9:35 on 9.
There's nothing you can't do in a pair of steel blues.
She's a Happy Smith's customer. I bet she bought a VZ Commodore from only $17,990. VZ Commodore from only $17,990. Unbelievable! And great trade-in deals too. Go get real value for your money at Smith's, Port Adelaide, Blair Athol, Renown Park and Medindi.
Welcome to Tile Wizards. You won't believe what's inside. If you need great tiles for your kitchen, your bathroom, your patio, then you need to get into Tile Wizards. There's the largest range and heaps of pallets. Pallets! Pallets!
Tile Wizards. Big savings, big selection.
Ultimate's Factory Direct run-out sales on this weekend. Everything's drastically reduced with up to 50% off every barbecue, up to 20% off gas log fires, up to 50% off outdoor settings, and up to 30% off every wood heater. Buy direct from the factory and save. Ultimate will beat any price.
They're some of the biggest names in footy, and they've all won the AFL Rising Star Medal. Who will rise in 2006? This year we have some red-hot talent competing for honours. Who has what it takes? Who is going to fly high and earn the honour of this year's NAB AFL Rising Star Medal? Who will rise in 2006?
Getaway, Thursday, 7:30 on 9.
Showdown 21, full house here at AAMI Stadium, and it's a 9-point lead to the Adelaide Crows at half-time, and we mean 9 points. It's 6 goals 3 to 6 goals 12. Beautiful sunshine this afternoon, and down there in the sunshine, Jason McCartney.
Yeah, thank you, Wayne. Look, a bit of concern with Damon White. Took that heavy hit 2/3 of the way through that second quarter. Has not re-emerged since half-time. Really puts a big onus. Important to win this game. A guy like Toby Thurston hasn't given much today. He really needs to stand up.
Thanks, Jace. Yes, he probably does. Toby, it's D-Day for him in some ways. Bix, all 25 games in 2004, including that grand final where he was one of the heroes with 3 goals, but just 10 games and 7 goals last year. Toby Thurston's, and this is game number 12 and 13 goals for him this year.
Yeah, especially in a year where Warren Treadray hasn't played a huge role. There's been a number of times when Treadray hasn't played and they still haven't played Toby Thurston's either. Just looking at that last quarter, the handball receives, which is a really good indication of run. Adelaide were well down and Port Adelaide well up, so just shows that, that Port Adelaide just picked himself up off the canvas after the first quarter and just ran and really put it to Adelaide in that second term.
Mark Williams with a little bit of help from on the left-hand side there. Tony McGuinness coaching in enemy territory. The Adelaide Crows playing to grab back top spot on the AFL ladder. As we get the second half underway, Matthew Clark with the palm down. Sean Burgoyne over it, couldn't break free, and we'll get a secondary ball up still inside the centre circle. Sean Burgoyne hasn't had as good an afternoon as he has had afternoons this year. Been in magnificent form. Brogan in the ruck at the moment to him. Bassett, third man up. Dumped it down. Riley got the clearance. Kicks toward Perry. Flies. Takes the mark in front of Wakeland on 50. This will test him. He knows it. He pokes it inside 50. And Edwards will line up from 45 out.
That's smart play by Perry. Firstly, the fact that he was in front. The quick kick comes out of the contest in the centre square, and he's in front. He takes the mark, and he gets back and just sums the situation up really quickly and says, I'm probably not going to get the distance. Got his eyes up, and Tyson Edwards just floated down unmarked, and he is a pretty reliable shot at goal.
Tyson Edwards, possession number 13 coming up, yet to kick one this afternoon. It's coming off a 27 possession game last week. Again, his career as a back pocket under Robert Shaw, but can kick them and kicks this one just when it was needed.
Whew, technology moves incredibly fast these days. So if you want to see the very latest in computers and IT, race into radio rentals. Check out the biggest range of all the big brands. Check the biggest. You can rent with no deposit and no other application fees. Check. No deposit rental. For the very latest technology, SA's biggest electrical retailer is IT It. You'd be mad to shop anywhere else.
Indication of the breeze, universally admired. Tyson Edwards, easier to dislike a koala bear than Tyson. 13 possessions, a goal. 7-12 plays 6-3. Just the start the Crows wanted. Clark only as far as due. Follows up his own hand pass. Still inside the centre square. Penetrating kick. John Cock initially had to take the pace off it. That was hot. Knocked it down to his own advantage. Swings it out wide. There he is again. Edwards to the run of Matner. And it may be that run is uppermost in their minds. Matner lays it off now to Shirley. Plenty of time to pick it up. Needed most of it. McLeod, surrounded by teammates, pops it up. Coming to meet it, Henschel. Getting back brilliantly. Kane Corns knocked it away. Chaplin, untidy hand pass. Clark, was he pushed in the back? Not according to the umpire. Goodwin stood up in the tackle. Perry, quick hands to Goodwin, who goes with the right boot, getting back Chad Corns. Takes the mark alongside the behind post.
Plays on, untangles himself and gets the kick away. Hoping for Salopek. Thought about playing on, does. Gets around Matner with ease. Spears it towards Thurston's, the man we were speaking about. Gets his chance here. Bounces nicely for him. He sizes them up. Goes long to the goal square. Even one grab. The second over the line. Only a behind, but Toby Thurston's a chance to slot one from 45, and they're the ones he needs to kick.
Interesting, 13 goals kicked so far, 9 of them to the northern end, so not having much luck kicking goals at that end, just like that one there.
John Cock directly down the middle, telling kick too. What a beauty to Riley, 60 metres from goal. Van Berlo, they peel off ahead of him. Opportunity for Henschel. Tries to juggle the mark. Could have been held without it. He'll get the free kick on the outer side. Henschel about 80 metres out. Quick transference of the footy by the Adelaide Crows. Off his step, Perry. That's a strong mark, bearing down Chaplin. Found the immovable object. Perry, right on the 50 then. Thompson moves towards the middle. Clark goes towards the goal square, the old pincer movement. Perry decides, blow that, I'm going back, and he finds, guess who? Bassett, the prince of defenders. They work the perimeter, goes back to Perry.
At some stage, you're going to have to bang it in long.
Well, Perry reluctant to do that. But was also reluctant to go back to Bassett and finds a man leading. That's Bode, who ran hard from the middle towards the boundary. But required a kick out in front, and Bassett not required. As Perry able to deliver that kick.
Where are we up to in the pattern of things? I think he's due for a point, isn't he?
Yes, quite right. It's like a foxtrot. Just keep that tempo in mind. Here's Bode, runs around, pulls it back across the body. He's broken out into a little rock and roll. Wonderful kick.
It happens all the time. Oh, yeah. It gets into your mind. Oh, yeah. A voice keeps telling you. Oh, yeah. Only Hungry Jacks will do. Oh, yeah. I just gotta have it. Oh, yeah. Hey, let me at it. Oh, yeah. Time to Hungry Jack it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Adelaide Crows have kicked the last 4 goals of the game. After Port Adelaide stole the lead for a little while in the second term. Nice palm down. Brogan to Corns to half forward. Thurston's trying to get a toe on it. Matner shoots the handball wide to Edwards. Runs with a couple of bounces. Has some space for a third. Cece tries to shut him down. He comes inboard, runs himself into trouble. Perry. Lends some assistance, Shirley. Perry the 1-2. Into the corridor, over the top, Matner into trouble, out of trouble to Bock. Drop punt, inside 50 but wide, sets Thompson a task. Thompson beats him off, inside 50 but Pearce holds it up. 20-point lead to Adelaide, early stages, third term.
Good defensive work by Port then, just covered everything in the middle and forced Adelaide really wide.
As you can see by that shot, only 4 men forward of the centre. Port's end Here's Cassisi. Was he taken high? Yes, he was. Late whistle. That left arm just creeping up from Tyson Edwards. Here's Kingsley. Not much on. Across the ground. Almost came unglued. Salopek kept his nerve. Held the footy. Goes to the wing and Marnie. Running hard is Corns. He's got it now. That's Kane Corns. Chips inside the forward 50, but he was off balance as he kicked. And that time, Johncock read it brilliantly and beat Ebert in the foot race. Short to Clark. Had a good game, Clark. Deftly. Here's Shirley. Goodwin. Interesting. Kick just floats at 10 metres. Pierce to Jew. Well, that's not 15. Goes to Lade. That's a good kick on the angle. Going back. Burgoyne takes the mark 20 metres out.
Good defensive work by Port Adelaide. I think someone just got a hand on that pass from Goodwin. He saw a player out wide, tried to float it across, couldn't get it. And whenever that happens, you're always exposed on the rebound. And that time, Sean Burgoyne did it very well. And look, who would you rather have holding the footy? He is just an immaculate kick.
Just the 4 possessions so far this afternoon, coming into his second goal. Kicks and kicks truly. That's what Port needed.
Call 1-800-NO-DRIP. Call 1-800-NO-DRIP. Call 1-800-NO-DRIP. Call 1-800-NO-DRIP. Call Metropolitan Plumbing when your tap is dripping or your drains are blocked. Call Metropolitan Plumbing for hot water replacement and pay no interest ever. Call Metropolitan Plumbing. All areas, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Call 1-800-NO-DRIP.
They did this last week, Port Adelaide. Looked to be down and looked as if they were going to have a team run all over them, then hit back and hit back strongly. And Sean Burgoyne was the man who started them last week as well. Gets it to Corns towards even on 50. Strong hands. He's too far out to score and knows it. The leads come. And he's held up. Johncock the man on the mark on 50. Ebert pokes it to the goal square. Chance for the Flyers. Clark with a hand. And that was good enough. A behind. And it's a 13-point lead to Adelaide.
You wouldn't mind if Ebert could get a bit closer to goal. I think Port would like to match up Ebert on Johncock, but he seems to be getting all his footy just outside of 50, outside of scoring distance. I'd love to see him put him in the goal square and give him some space, see if he can get it a bit closer to goal.
McLeod denied anything deep. This is Mattner in the pocket then. Decides to run it up, has the early bounce, uses McLeod once more. Upended was Mattner. He paid a price for all of that in slow motion. Some hard work off the ball as McLeod goes wide to Edwards, who started this term brilliantly. Kicks towards half forward, Corns the good mark, releases Burgoyne. Across the ground, here comes to Pierce. Pierce, fleet of foot, takes off. There'll be a shepherd from Bentley. Good enough. Put Pierce some time. 70 metres out. Ebert is running hard. He'll mark this one. Great pressure by Port as the ball came out.
Just seeing there, Graham Johncock was a player who put a shepherd on for Andrew McLeod, but what happened is he got down the ground, which meant that his player was left unguarded. And when Adelaide turned the ball over, the rebound came back and Ebert found himself in space. This time much closer to goal, Dennis.
Where you wanted him, Bix, or where you didn't want him, Bix. And he comes and he kicks it and he kicks truly. He's got 2. And Port Adelaide will not go away. The margin's 7 points.
Have your cake and eat it too at A&R's 16th birthday sale. Great, right in the lap. Speaking of laps, save on this Toshiba laptop, just $8.49 after $100 Toshiba cashback. Samsung Laser, yes, laser printer for a tiny $1.99, includes extra toner. Or this net-ready computer package with DVD burner and multifunction printer for a crazy $9.99. Savings are store-wide, so clean up at A&R.
2 goals now for Brett Ebert, and he is growing as a player. Been in the shadow of his father. He lives and has always lived in the shadow of this ground here at Amy Stadium, just a stone throw away. And he is rising to the challenge from the kick. Clark, that was paid 15. Not too sure Clark knew it was going to be paid. Goodwin, inside 50, heads for Henschel. Can't get there to attempt a mark. Gets there to Crummett. Has the shot towards the goal square. Down there is Bode. Beaten for it. Then lost to Dick Kingsley. Bode tried to thread a handball out. Getting back Assisi just in the nick of time and finds the line. He'll get a ball in.
Assisi's played some important roles today. We've seen him get some work around the stoppages and kick goals, and then that time he was up the other end saving a goal.
Boundary throw in right on the 50 then. Margin 7 points. Crows lead it. Led most of the day. Clark reaches over the top decisively down to Thompson. Swings it across the body. Lunging at it. Biglands couldn't hang on. Shirley crawls after the football. Stopped by Bishop. Taken across the line by Burgoyne.
Biglands appears to have gone forward to give him a bit of a target up there. Did so with some success last week against the Bulldogs. Kicked 2 good goals late.
They miss Brett Burton over the top. Downey with a backhander. Welsh knocked it down. Jew's got it. Immediately tackled by his opposite number. Umpire gives him a long time to play in there. Clark, Jew once more. Carries them forward. A couple of players on his back there. Hand pass comes across from Pierce to Corns. Scrambles it out of defence. Taken by Chaplin. Chaplin did well. Cassisi arches the back. Gets away from Edwards. That's a telling kick. Up to the wing. Running hard. Fought at the players. Willits can Bentley give him the ball. Made it awkward for the big guy. Half volley, controlled, now he's out of control. Slung by Bock, must be holding it. Bock wants to go immediately, picks up the ball wide of the mark, chips to midfield. Shirley has it. Perry comes on a lead. He goes wide of Perry. Welsh let it bounce. Perry on the back up though. Can come back to Welsh and or John Cock. 65 metres out. Goes looking for Henschel. Henschel stretches. Well, he took the pace off with his face. It's slapped away by Chaplin close to the boundary line. Burgoyne with speed, still Burgoyne. At close quarters gave it to Thomas. Hand pass straight to McLeod. Thomas trying to make amends. Dowdy fell to the ground, got a hand pass to Knights. Sets it up down towards full forward. Corns was up, couldn't complete the mark. Lunging in there was Biglands. Under him is Brogan. Picked up by Kane Corns. Untidy hand pass. Bishop with some time, needs all of it. Oh, stolen away by Biglands. And standing close to the square, Chaplin told he'd played on, which was news to him. Bad news. Kicks it outside the 50. Bentley and Van Berlo. Brilliantly done, Van Berlo. Did he dive on the football? That's the question. Apparently he did.
If he hasn't got it, Dennis.
I know.
It's unbelievable, that, isn't it?
That's a problem with the rule. It was out between his ankles.
Almost a free kick against the team. Because Mattner was the one who ended up with the ball. High kick towards Willits and Bock beats him with ease. Nathan Bock chips the ball wide. Mattner held up by Pierce, although he can play on quickly short to Knights, the man who replaced Mark Rasciuto in the selected side for Adelaide this afternoon. But he's in good form, Chris Knights. 39 possessions last week in the SANFL, and most of them better than that one. We'll get a ball in.
Game's just lifted a cog, hasn't it? That period there where it was in Adelaide's forward line. Really hot ball, and it's great for footy to watch.
Magnificent contest. The South Australians, this is the centre of the world today. It doesn't matter what other games are being played. Shirley to Bock, caught. Got it up to Douglas. Threads it wide to McLeod. 45 from goal. Takes on Thurston's. Got it to Edwards, the 1-2. McLeod still 50 out. Now loops it to Shirley. He can go to Biglands. He can go to the goal square. He can go to goal. Misses. Behind. Very enjoyable contest. They might be at opposite ends of the spectrum ladder-wise, but this one is a 50-50 right now. 8-5 to 8-13, and everybody takes a breath.
They're just pressing out, they Adelaide. You sense they're either going to break through in a minute, or if Port can withhold it, then they'll see if they can counterpunch.
Jew pinpoints it nicely to the man who left the ball in the square, Chad Corns. Kicks it up to the wing. Logan did his job, gave a contest. Coming through though, Bassett got the hand pass to Van Berlo. Having a good turn, Van Berlo. Across the ground, Bock, Edwards. Now, Doughty, metres in the clear. Has to hesitate, 60 metres from goal. Short one is on to Bassett. Pops it over the top, and Bassett's taken the mark. So industrious, this man. Busy at the back, able to push forward. Let's get the feeling he was a postman. He'd finish his round in 20 minutes, only stopping to bite a few dogs.
It was funny. He was the guy that actually came and left his man to affect the spoil, and then he's ended up with in front of goal. And I know he rates himself as a goal kicker. He doesn't kick too many, but as a junior, he was a forward.
I'm with him. Bassett from 35. Gives it a ride. A lot of Roy's heart in that kick.
Tell your builder and architect where to go. To Newton Ceramic Centre to see one of the most comprehensive ranges of quality floor, wall and decorative tiles. European designs for today's living. Ageless classic styles to match any decor. Newton Ceramic Centre's relaxed atmosphere, along with knowledgeable staff, make your tiling selection an enjoyable experience. So, tell your builder and architect where to go. To Newton Ceramic Centre, 95 Grave Street, Newton.
His 171st game, Nathan Bassett, and that just his 23rd goal, and a free kick to Port Adelaide.
Two
from
players.
A centre square infringement.
No, two players inside the centre circle for Adelaide.
Okay.
When the umpire was about to bounce.
Adelaide kicks the long bomb towards Marnie. It worked in their favour. I think Marnie expected it to come uncontested. Here's what happened with Adelaide. Goodwin.
Goodwin and Shirley just have a little powwow there, but didn't quite do it early enough.
Oh.
Good pick-up, Bex.
Yes.
I just happened to be watching that.
Ex-midfielder knows what to do and what not to do.
Didn't actually play under those rules, Dwayne, but that doesn't matter.
That's how adaptable you are.
Big kick this for Marnie, for Port Adelaide. It's marked on the line by Bentley. Well, Rutten had the chance to spoil. It was Bentley in the Rolls Royce of defenders for Adelaide, and Bentley wins out. Tough kick. One career goal coming into today, and that was never in doubt. Here they come again.
It's easy to get lost trying to find just the right insurance. Sometimes you can't see the wood for the trees. But for great cover and our lowest quotes on all your insurance, the way is clear. Call 133 QBE.
Exactly right. I mean, she never comes. Here you go.
Hey, Dol, where's the Munn's Golf Course Green?
Munn's Golf Course Green Lawn Fertiliser. So instant green, you won't believe your eyes.
So Adelaide have won one of their last 4 matches. You just get the feeling in the big picture they're in trouble. Shirley, down goes Edwards, back to Shirley. Kicks from inside the centre circles, inside the attacking 50. Perry was up, knocked down to Knights. Snaps, vacant square, going back Chad Corns. He's reading this so well in defence. Mark made the point that if they could play him at centre half back, you'd know he'd push for all Australian selection. Kane Corns towards the wing. Pierce. Blistering pace. Kicks towards the 50. Bassett will come. Takes the mark on his chest.
It's almost like he led for that, Den.
Yeah, read it beautifully off the boot.
Put it in his path beautifully.
Goal kicker, defender, what next? The bright sunshine at Amy. Nathan Bassett, runner-up in the best and fairest last season. Beckons a man forward. Biglands, as if Bassett were a conductor. I'm sure he can do that too. Bassett comes up, acknowledges the mark from Biglands, then calls for the ball back.
It's a fair yell too. I could hear him from up here. You could have heard him on your effects, Mike.
Inside the defensive 50, spots John Cock and punches the ball low and hard to John Cock as they occupy some time, if nothing else.
Interesting watching Chad Corns. Doesn't actually have a player, so he's just lurking there to be that third man up if the ball gets kicked long.
Adelaide Crows being cautious at the moment. Bassett, chip kick, inboard, and Thompson takes the mark.
Perry on the move now.
Scott Thompson over the head of Doughty. McLeod saved the day. Back to Doughty. Sends it long. Henschel couldn't get near it. Chaplin. Henschel gets the step away. Corns again. Last line of defence. He's either marking them, stopping them, and he's reloading them again. Willis. Pierce. to the open wing. He missed his target last time. He misses it this time. Edwards cuts it off. Salopek makes a contest. John Cocker, 2-on-2. Pokes it towards the crowd. Out of bounds on the full. And Henschel is down still in the hands of Tronus. Oh, gee.
Right ankle or knee.
And they might have to bring a stretcher out here and stop play. You said that the Adelaide Crows are in trouble, Dennis, in the big picture. Well, that makes them in even bigger trouble. If Burton's not playing for the finals and Rashido's not fit, he's not playing this afternoon. Yeah. Play continues. And now Henschel.
Top 3 goal kickers. Thomas just hanging on, and that doesn't look good.
Is that almost a free kick?
Well, no, he's tried to do everything right, hasn't he? If he's got to his back at the finish, it's inadvertent. Yeah.
But just felt his legs were just caught underneath him. That was the problem.
Yeah. So both teams looking to huddle up here. It's Trent Henschel is about to be placed onto a stretcher. So we were talking about the big picture prior to this happening. Rashido not playing today, their top goal scorer. This man lies second. Burton lies third. Burton's missed a fair bit of football. Burton is that wild card on the forward line. Henschel, a little similar, can do the unexpected, but this forward line would have become any more orthodox than you figure. I thought coming in this afternoon without Burton, they really needed to prove something to me. I doubt they can win the premiership. That's before this happened.
We'll just have another look at this. If you don't like the vision of players getting injured, look away now, because this other angle, the graphic looks a little uglier than the first one. That is horrible to watch. And silence is about the only way of adding to it, because that tells its own story, that picture. Henschel is down. You would think he might be out for the season, if not longer. I know, Bix, you won as captain of the Adelaide Crows. You won your first grand final for this great club without Tony Modra in an 80-goal season.
Well, that's right. Very similar circumstances, but Modra went down in the prelim final against the Western Bulldogs and had injured his knee and missed 12 months. And look at
have you got a Darren Jarman to step up in this
well,
side?
I guess Mark Rashido is the one they would, I guess, cast in that role this year. They would be wanting him to do that, but look, it's just unfortunate that he's done so well in the last couple of years to get himself up to a stage where he's been a really good player. He kicked 8 goals earlier in the year against Essendon, I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
To have an injury like that. But look, let's not think that he's the only bloke that's happened to. We saw young Jason Rowe last night who may have a similar injury, and the Bulldogs have had 5, Brisbane have had 4 or 5, and if it's a knee reconstruction, I know the timing's terrible, but it still goes on, and it means that someone else will get an opportunity now.
Let's hope for the best. We're not doctors. He's coming off the ground, but it certainly didn't look good. Interesting, footy is such a cruel game in its way. You saw the coach's box when Henschel was down, and it's very much, the coach acknowledges, he knows in the back of his mind, this is a body blow. But you've got to get on with it. You can't even show that reaction. The king is dead. Long live the king.
I guess the other thing in Adelaide's favour is that Perry and Welsh have pretty much missed the whole season, and they've only just come back in recent times. So they do have one thing they are blessed with is a bit of depth. So I think they still have the players capable of kicking a winning score. So we'll see how it unfolds.
Yep, boundary throw in. So we're back to the action. Clark tips it down, but straight to Jew, sends a long one down towards full forward. Bassett, brilliantly done, got a hand to it. Ebert was thinking about this soccer, running out of space. Just paddled across the line by Cassisi. 4 minutes to 3/4 time.
Interesting to see what psychological effect it has on both the sides. You think Adelaide could be a little bit flat after seeing that, and Port maybe just get a bit of a sniff.
Some of their players might not know. They wouldn't have seen the vision. It didn't go up on the scoreboard. Port Adelaide 8 points down. Burgoyne caught. Will get another ball up. So they might not know how bad it could be for Trent Henschel, the Adelaide Crow players. They'll still be looking at getting their season back on track. Brogan slaps it down. Trying to rush it behind. Ball still in dispute. 8 metres from goal. Massive players around it. And once again, the umpires can sort it out with the ball up eventually. Umpire Derek Woodcock trying to get into the middle of it. Edwards and Brogan. And now the Adelaide Crow players, you would think, would try and make this ball up end into behind. Lade keeps it alive, slapped it out. McLeod does well to Bassett. High towards Van Berlo, one grab, not the second. Kingsley, magnificent tackle, Van Berlo. Dump, good tackle also by Thompson. And the ball tied up just outside, attacking 50. Just as Betley thought he was going to sprint clear and have a shot.
You sense the next 4 or 5 minutes in this game are pivotal in the result. If one team can get a goal or get any sort of momentum, it could go away to deciding this.
Dew knocked it down. Downey held by the arm and slung. Edwards. Van Berlo taken down from behind. The tackling intense now. Ball trickles out towards Salopek, but he was going nowhere. And the ball up. About 65 metres out from Port's attacking goal.
Chad Corns drifting into the fray from down back.
So they're manned up in Adelaide's forward line. 1-on-1 football. Corns got a boot to it. Edwards goes back, takes the mark. Bassett set a task. Fingertips to it, unkind bounce. But inside the centre square. Now a chance for Marnie. Will it bounce for him? Closing is Edwards. Got him. Was it too high? Not according to the umpire. That's got to be holding the ball. No. He's decided no prior opportunity. Was the tackle too high? Yes, I think it was initially. I think it was across the line by Kasisi. 4 minutes to three-quarter time.
Interesting to see what psychological effect it has on both the sides. You think Adelaide could be a little bit flat after seeing that, and Port maybe just get a bit of a sniff.
Some of their players might not know. They wouldn't have seen the vision. It didn't go up on the scoreboard. Port Adelaide 8 points down. Burgoyne caught. We'll get another ball up. So they might not know how bad it could be for Trent Henschel, the Adelaide Crow players. They'll still be looking at getting their season back on track. Brogan slaps it down, trying to rush it behind. Ball still in dispute. 8 metres from goal. Massive players around it. And once again, the umpires can sort it out with the ball up eventually. Umpire Derek Woodcock trying to get into the middle of it. Edwards and Brogan. And now the Adelaide Crow players, you would think, would try and make this ball up end into behind. Lade keeps it alive, slapped it out. McLeod does well to Bassett. High towards Van Berlo, one grab, not the second. Kingsley, magnificent tackle, Van Berlo. Dump, good tackle also by Thompson. And the ball tied up just outside, attacking 50. Just as Betley thought he was going to sprint clear and have a shot.
You sense the next 4 or 5 minutes in this game are pivotal in the result. If one team can get a goal or get any sort of momentum, it could go away to deciding this.
Dew knocked it down. Downey held by the arm and slung. Edwards. Van Berlo taken down from behind. The tackling intense now. Ball trickles out towards Salopek, but he was going nowhere. And the ball up. About 65 metres out from Port's attacking goal.
Chad Corns drifting into the fray from down back.
So they're manned up in Adelaide's forward line. 1-on-1 football. Corns got a boot to it. Edwards goes back, takes the mark. Bassett set a task. Fingertips to it, unkind bounce. But inside the centre square. Now a chance for Marnie. Will it bounce for him? Closing is Edwards. Got him. Was it too high? Not according to the umpire. That's got to be holding the ball. No. He's decided no prior opportunity. Was the tackle too high? Yes, I think it was initially. I think it was initially. No doubt it was.
Well, if they're going to be consistent, they played one very similar to that up the other end, so you would have thought that was a shot at goal for Port Adelaide.
It was too high first, and then it was holding the ball. It might not matter. He kicks the goal regardless. Marty slides it home for his second, and they're 2 points down.
At Wohlers, the choice is yours. Traditional mahogany,
You won't believe our range of mahogany furniture.
sofas and lounges,
Come in, sit down and feel how comfortable our lounges are.
casual furniture,
Our expanded range of casual furniture is now second to none.
bedroom furniture,
Bedroom suites, ensembles and mattresses all now available at Wohlers.
homewares and gift ideas.
It's the small things that are the finishing touches in your home.
Experience the warmth and charm of Wohlers, Murray Street, Tanunda.
28 goals for the season now for Josh Marnie. He could win Port's goal kicking this year with the lowest ever total in club history, which is 32, by the way. From the ball out, it's a 2-point ball game. Kingsley the takeaway. Port Adelaide could take the lead in at three-quarter time. Ball thumped down. Dobson got the handball in the 1-2, back again towards attacking 50. Welsh beaten Port. Biglands got a handball out, missed the target. Chaplin. The step ladder for Nathan Buckley in that thriller last week. Chaplin gets it wide to Thomas. Over the top to Kingsley. Inside 50 to Evers. One of the heroes from last week. But again, he's taken it maybe just beyond his range.
I think he's just within his range here. I think outside 50, he's can't get the journey, but he'll kick this right on 50, I reckon. It's amazing what a bit of adrenaline pumping through your veins can do, Dwayne. I just have a funny feeling he's going to get this home.
You can sense he's going to enjoy the big moment to give Port Adelaide the lead. Starts it right, brings it back, they're in front!
Oh, Did you know you can rent just about anything at Radio Rentals? TV's right, you know. It makes sense to rent. Check this stuff out. You want it, you can rent it today and keep your cash. There's no deposit, no application fees. They fix any problems. And you can upgrade to the latest and greatest so you're never stuck with yesterday's gear. Want it now? Rent it at Radio Rentals, SA's biggest electrical retailer. You'd be mad to shop anywhere else.
I believe it's got 3 goals. Port have kicked the last 3. I think we need a trainer up here to just uncross Bix's fingers. Opened his big gob and he was spot on. Opportunity diving after the football is Shirley. Immediately claimed, and that ball slow to release. Salopek's got it now, wishes he didn't. And the umpire calls for it. 1:20 to go. Neil Craig on the phone. A remarkable last month for the Crows. Trendsetters, slumping trendsetters now. Falling to the ground, Kingsley. Lower goes back, under pressure. Pearce is loose, tracks it out towards the boundary. Hoping against hope it will stay in, it won't.
It was interesting work, and I had an eye on Pearce, and the ball went up, and he just absolutely bolted forward and almost created an opportunity, but I guess it shows that he's got some confidence in his players around the footy. They're going to win it.
His bolting is quite a bit of voltage. As the ball goes towards the boundary line, Dowdy tracks it out this time. Those hustings over there taking a fair pounding. 4 points the difference. Port in front. 1 minute till three-quarter time. Sunday football from Amy Stadium. Showdown 21. Clark wrestles his way in front. Falls behind. Tackled without the football. Shirley will get the free kick.
Geez, I thought he had it, to be quite honest.
Maybe one last chance for Adelaide to take back the lead. No, Shirley, Bassett. He was bumped as he marked it. Ebert and Bassett have collided heads, I think.
They have. Oh. That looked innocuous, didn't it? And then you see the replay.
Ebert almost pulled up there. He didn't really want to put an arm or a shoulder or an elbow out, so he tucked up and collected the head of Nathan Bassett.
Oh.
And the
Bassett was
stretcher
out
coming
before
out
he
again.
landed.
He was. So not only the big picture looking horrible for the Adelaide Crows, the small picture not looking good for them either in this game.
And that was a complete accident. Players going in there and having a fair bit to say and a bit of pushing and shoving, but that was just accidental. And as Dwayne said, I think he did try and pull up Ebert.
Had he protected himself with an arm or a knee, and there's blood streaming from Bassett's head, Ebert comes off. He's a little hurt as well, but had he protected himself, he might have done more damage and given away 50, so he tucked up and didn't protect himself, and now Bassett will be stretchered from the field.
That's one of the problems with these derbies, whether it be Perth or Adelaide, Bex. The build-up sometimes creates carnage. Now, not talking about injuries, but it's not far from the surface all the time, is it? I mean, suspensions, players doing the wrong thing. Well, yes. I mean, we know that it's the build-up that leads to some of these events.
Yeah,
that was an accident, but what followed, there was no need for anyone to go in there and do any remonstrating.
The only thing I can think of is, like Dwayne mentioned about Henschel not knowing what had gone on. I guess they saw the contact was perhaps a little bit late, and they didn't realise that it was a clash of heads. And it looks pretty bad, of course, and they want to fly the flag. So perhaps there's an element of that in there, and no doubt some frustration. They've seen two of their players stretch it off, and also under pressure on the scoreboard.
But
so
the last thing they can do is get somebody on report.
That's exactly right. But you can just sense that there is some simmering tensions out there, and it is close to the surface. So look, three-quarter time probably comes, or I know it's very close. There's 37 seconds left. It probably comes at a good time for both clubs to regroup and just to, I guess, plan some sort of strategy for this last quarter.
That's the tricky thing late in the season. I mean, a team like Port Adelaide can virtually be matadors, can't they? They can just show the red cape to the opposition and virtually dare you.
Well,
if you're in the finals, you can't take that dare.
Exactly. I guess that comes down to the mental strength. You've got bigger fish to fry, for want of a better term, later in the month or going into September, and you just got to keep a cool head and say to the opposition, if they are goading you, look, you book your holidays for September because we're going to be playing some important footy. So that's the challenge if that occurs. But look, Adelaide have got some senior players, some older, wiser heads out there. I'm sure that's what they'll be saying to their younger fellas.
Nathan Bassett giving the thumbs up to the crowd there, which is good news. He moved his head, as you saw on the mobile stretcher. So hopefully there's no jaw or cheekbone damage to Nathan Bassett. It looked horrible with the blood, but hopefully he'll be okay for next week. So 30 seconds from three-quarter time. McLeod heads to Perry, who's a long way from where he'd like to be on defensive 50. The call would have come out to all the players how many seconds are left. They had plenty of time to do that, the coaching staff. So Adelaide Crows, knowing how long was left, are doing exactly the right thing here. Mop up the seconds, go in at three-quarter time. They're going to go in 4 points down, but at least they can regroup. Just don't turn the ball over. Back to Perry. Another uncontested mark on the stat sheet. But there's the siren. Big last term coming up, especially for the Adelaide Crows. They are playing to regain top spot on the AFL ladder. But Port Adelaide pumped. They know they've got this start team on the ropes. Three-quarter time here, Amy Stadium, showdown 21. Port Adelaide, 11-5-71. Adelaide, 9-13-67.
Tonight, police investigate the death of a woman at a beachside suburb, the alternative plan to overhaul taxi security, and all the highlights from Showdown 21.
Local? Yeah, we're local.
You'll never guess what I had pinched down at Maslin's Beach last week, Trev. My car. There I was. No clothes, no wallet, no thongs. What could I do? I had to catch the bus back home wearing nothing but a beach towel. I mean, where was I going to put my bus ticket? And now the insurance company wants to take the shirt off my back again.
Did your car turn up?
Yes. Totally stripped.
Stonecraft have done it to us again. Just look at the new display supercentre. How can anyone compete with this? And how many more types of stone do they need? Who else has this kind of kitchen and barbecue areas? Check out timber flooring, granite.
Hey, you, get out of here.
Ridiculously low prices on everything. They can't keep these prices up.
Hey, yes, we can.
Stonecraft New Supercentre, corner Railway Terrace and Manchester Street, Mile End.
There is a car with a sophisticated VVTi engine. A car available with an intelligent 5-speed automatic. A car that always finds the perfect balance between power and economy. Intuitive new Camry, the car that reads the road.
For a comprehensive range of men's clothing at one big location,
Peter Weber Menswear.
big name brands at the best possible prices and a team of experienced staff offering old-fashioned service,
Peter Weber Menswear.
a huge range of styles of brand name business and casual shirts,
Peter Weber Menswear.
a choice of suit styles in a variety of patterns.
Peter Weber Menswear.
After casual wear, check out their jeans, pants, knitwear and sports jackets.
Peter Weber Menswear.
North Park Shopping Centre. How do you do it, Peter Weber?
If I were you, I would not haggle here. Here you can haggle. Haggle on thousands and thousands of ruggies. Huge family room ruggies, under 100 haggle. 49, 49, 49 haggle. Everyone loves a shag. We've got great shags from under 100. Haggle. 99.99 haggle. 199, 199, 299, 299 haggle. Hundreds of runners under $10 a metre. Haggle. Here you can definitely haggle.
If you think there's no way you can afford to buy your own home, you obviously haven't spoken to HomeStart yet. Maybe you don't have a deposit. Maybe you're on a low income, a casually employed, or a graduate who hasn't been in the workforce long. Don't worry. No matter what your situation, call HomeStart and we'll try and find a way to get you into your own home. HomeStart. We don't just provide home loans. We put smiles on faces.
Get Angry Australia.
Why do you refuse to serve Australians?
A restaurant where Aussies are banned.
You're not allowed to touch the camera.
And the Super Slimming Suit, guaranteeing women a perfect shape.
It will reduce your waist up to 6 centimetres.
A current affair Monday.
The 2006 Toyota AFL Premiership season, proudly brought to you by Radio Rentals, SA's biggest electrical retailer, Metropolitan Plumbing, emergency plumbing 24 hours, 7 days a week, and Amy, lucky you're with Amy.
Glorious afternoon for football, and Showdown 21 is living up to all expectations. Port Adelaide led at three-quarter time, 11-5-71. To Adelaide 9-13-67. Brett Ebert, one of the stars of the show, 3 goals for him, 2 of them in that third term. Marty and Burgoyne a couple, and Matthew Bode, ex-Port Adelaide power player. Matthew Bode, 3 goals for Adelaide. Mark Williams went straight out to the huddle and pumped his boys up and pumped one of the greats up. And Mark Williams was captained by Brett Ebert's father, Russell, for many years at Port Adelaide in the SANFL, and they have got Port Adelaide in their blood, the both of them. And Neil Craig is letting his players know, Bix, that there's a lot on the line here. If you don't want to have a look at the Trent Henschel injury, we warn you again just to look away now, because it is graphic, it is horrible, and it may be a season-ending injury for Trent Henschel. Here it is.
Yeah, it just looks as if it's his knee is buckled to the right, and that would, I guess, imply that he's injured his knee quite seriously. Bassett there, just a collision of heads, both players not coming off too well there. Bassett obviously been split open with that and in a bit of trouble, and he's been taken off on a stretcher as well. So Adelaide, 2 players down, but
exactly
giving the thumbs up there just to show that he's a-okay.
And we don't want you to look away all the time. If we told you to look away for the injury, if you don't want to know the scores in the other game being played this afternoon, look away now as well. Jason McCartney down on the boundary line.
Yeah, Dwayne, you spoke about the Crows being 2 players down with Henschel and Bassett. Port Adelaide, 2 players down as well. Darryl Wakeland didn't appear at three-quarter time. Then sitting in the huddle, looks to be a bit dazed and concussed as well. And we know about Damon White. He hasn't reappeared since halfway through the second quarter. Concerning for the Crows, we know they've been poor the last month. Only won 4 of 16 quarters coming into today. Only won 1 so far today. So this crowd of 41,500 are in for a crackerjack last quarter.
Crows 3 goals in each of the terms. Port, the slow start, just 1, but then 5 goals in the second term, 5 goals in the third term.
We've heard a lot about Adelaide and the way they've trained, and specifically had a big month, and they've lightened off over the last couple of weeks. This might be a little test for them to see if they have freshened up, and to see if Neil Craig's, I guess, theory about how football teams prepared comes to fruition.
Port Adelaide lead it by 4 points. Rucks go at it. Kingsley steals it away. High ball down towards the attacking 50. In front, Salopek. Couldn't complete the mark. Doughty. Douglas. Now Bock with plenty of support. Goes over the top. Tyson Edwards running hard again. Around the outer side. Shuffles beyond the wing. Kicks inside the forward 50. Welsh was up. Couldn't complete the mark. Willits knocked it forward. Eventually, Port with the run of the football. Willits side foots it up towards the wing. Van Berlo tracks it back close to the boundary line. Stops. Looks infield. Plenty of indecision. Kingsley came up, picked his pocket. Could have been held without it. Salopek slides in. The ball, as you can see, wedged between his legs. Matner looking for a pair of tongs there. Will have a bounce.
Or some gloves at least in to extract it. Tough bounce coming up here. He walks it in a couple of metres. A little away from the boundary line. Good tackle by Goodwin. And we'll get another ball up. Kingsley putting his body on the line there again.
You sense some urgency about Adam Kingsley as well. Keen to play another year.
Yep.
Out of contract, he could be playing for his career today and next week.
Knocked down by Brogan. It falls in the end to Lade. To Cassisi, to half forward. Bouncing ball. Rolls past a couple. Marnie, John Cock. Marnie dives in, ties it up, got one high. Free kick to Ebert. Ebert will line up for number 4.
It was clever by Kingsley on the wing too, wasn't it?
Indeed. Well, we've talked about Adelaide being a little bit clumsy and just overzealous there by the young first gamer, and Richard Douglas wasn't a great deal in it, but when you're 10-15 metres out from goal, you just can't afford to be pushing a player in the back, and Brett Ebert being a very, very dangerous player for Port Adelaide today.
And he has been kicking them lately, and he misses. It's a behind. I knew it.
That's a big miss.
He has been kicking them lately, though.
He has.
Richard Douglas, no doubt, would breathe a sigh of relief, the young player.
Gentleman tumbling over Herb Villachaise's sleeping bag down there as John Cock is to bring it in. 11-6, 9-13. Port 6 of the last 7 goals in this match. Their biggest lead today, 5 points. The current lead. Douglas in the shadows. What a game to make your debut in. You'll remember this for a while. The opposite pocket. Haven't seen a lot of Rutten today. Matner on up the ground. Likes to run this Matner. Likes to kick this time. Van Berlo lays it off. Riley goes towards half forward. Tailor-made for Perry. Willits did well. Strength of body came back, gave a contest. Perry still with the football. Back to Riley, who's run on. Van Berlo's hand passes forward. Thompson turns around. It's the post. And the total continues to mount in posters. We'll have the official count in just a moment.
Bishop entrusted with the kick in for Port Adelaide. Been a magnificent contest from the opening bounce. He goes wide, and Thurston's strong hands in opposition to McLeod. Really needed to hold that, because if the ball hit the deck, he would back McLeod every time. Chip kick. Kane Corns holds it up for Port Adelaide.
Interesting, we talked about Willits, how he played back for Glenelg and coming forward. He's now been thrust back into that defence. So being versatile has worked for him today.
He seemed to feel comfortable. Kane Corns sends it high and wide to the wing. Pack flies, Brogan the thump down, Pearce's direction, threads a handball out to Kingsley. As Mark quickly said, playing for his life, did well to Burgoyne, to Salopek, to half forward, the kick goes the direction of Ebert. That's his pocket. Lane calls for it. He goes long towards Chaplin. Got there. Ball bounced unkindly for him. He's drifted down from defence. Finds Cassisi. Runs inside 50. Loads up. Left foot. Misses. Another behind.
On the lead, that mark by Ebert has caused John Cock problems all day. A step is enough, isn't it? Edwards. Deep in his own defensive area. Intelligent kick. Perry takes the mark on the outer side. Like a relay runner. Runs on towards half forward. Little chip. Biglands comes up. He's at left half forward in the bright sunshine. Just over 16 minutes remaining in this showdown. Miscues with the kick. It wanders towards the pocket. Bishop goes back, lobs it over the top. Thurston's to Bishop. Kept his head. Clever kick. Willits sold a teammate into trouble. Thompson. Well, the young boys combining for Port. If they get out of this, that's good. Sellerpeck, Kingsley. Thomas has run on. That was well worked. Thomas, well, one too many. No, Bentley got away. Kicks inside the forward 50. Ebert once more. Well, that will be on the highlight reel for sure for Port Adelaide. A lot of inexperience, keeping its head in the back half and working it forward and presenting Ebert with a goal-scoring opportunity.
That was the one there that Neil Craig would be most unhappy about. Brent Riley didn't wrap Bentley up and just had to stop him. And unlucky for Johncock, he can't do much when the ball's being delivered like that, but a massive kick for Brett Ebert in Port Adelaide.
Going at his fourth to stretch the lead. Ebert's kick across the face behind, and they lead by 6 points. Well, a couple of golden opportunities.
We talked about Ebert, how last week he dominated actually winning the ball, but wasn't able to translate that into goal-scoring power. Well, he's done the same again today. Could have had an absolute belter of a day. He's been good. He just hasn't been able to really hurt Adelaide when it's counted.
Yes, kicked 4-3 last week and could have kicked 6. Chip kick, good to the wing. Riley takes on Bentley, steps around. Spears it, hoping for Perry. Chaplin's with him. Perry hands to it. Brogan with the man. Shirley with the ball. Brogan with the man and dragged him down.
Got the kick too.
And the Port fans rise. Dean Brogan wins the free kick for holding the ball. A good tackle. Port Adelaide hold their biggest lead of the game. 6 points, and Brogan's held up on the wing.
Enjoying this, although not enjoying that. That's a terrible kick by Brogan, out of bounds on the fall, only about halfway to where Bock has got it now.
Just wonder with Nathan Bassett not out there, they just lack some run from defence, Dennis. He's the one that does carry it and use it pretty well. With him being off injured, they're just missing a bit now.
And of course, Henschel is a target. Doughty goes back. Here's Rutten. Time for him to exert some influence. Back to Doughty. 11-8, 9-14. Port in front. Rutten to Shirley. Back to Doughty. His third possession in the space of 30 seconds. A little chip towards half forward. Telling kick. Perry comes up. Marks it. 75 metres from goal. Clark is drifting down. Bigland's down there as well, so plenty of tall timber. Welsh comes on the lead. That's ambitious. Surrounded by Port players. Bishop able to punch it forward. Brogan to Chaplin. Now Thomas. Cassisi. The confidence rising in Port. Brogan. Better kick. Bentley stretches. Couldn't complete the mark. Pearce attacked the football. In turn was attacked. Taken down. Advantage is paid. Good tackle by Riley. Doughty comes out to Johncock. Johncock looking for Welsh. Terrific by Bishop.
Might just get Jason at some stage to have a look and see if Ben Hart's on the bench. We haven't seen a great deal of him since half-time.
I don't think he's been on at all since half-time. And there he is, Ben Hart. Let's hope he's okay. He's had of hamstring problems in the last couple of years. Doughty, gee, he knocked it down to McLeod. Beautiful palm down, but it's all Corns. Biglands gets back. Corns takes the mark. Port Adelaide can reload. Corns to Burgoyne. Shirley's with him to 2-on-1. Burgoyne might beat them both here. Takes on Van Berlo. Runs away. Spears it towards half forward. Marnie's down there. Douglas with him. Marnie tries to keep it alive. Well played. The first gamer wins out. Kick not so good. Put Johncock under pressure. Bumped off it. Lending assistance. Bock. Lade chases him. Runs to the midfield. Spears the pass. Bow dives. Didn't complete it. Did complete it. And he's held up at centre-half forward.
Plays on immediately. Gave it off to Knights. Long kick. Deepest down there, Adelaide. 2 of them, and it bounced off Welsh. I think he was a little unsettled by Perry. And the ball's got across the line for a behind. Jace?
Just for you, Biggs, just on Benny Hart, I didn't see him come off at all, but you would think if there was no injury concern, he'd be out there now, especially with Bassett off the ground.
And Scotty Welsh headed that through World Cup style.
Yeah, it didn't work out too well. As we said, 2 of them deep, but they did upset each other. Bode to Clark. Clark goes looking for Welsh on the lead, but Finesse not always Matty Clark's long suit. And he found Willets, who pops it out to Cassisi. He decides to hold. If anything, the breeze is favouring Port, but it's not strong. We'll check with Jason in a moment. This is Thomas. His last few minutes have been good on the outer side, and now close to our commentary position. Goes looking for Bentley. That's on the full, is it? No, I think the boundary umpire got it right. Into the turf from Riley. Jace, what about the breeze?
Breeze across the ground, if any at all, Dennis.
Lade, Brogan and Clark all line up for this ruck contest. Brogan and Rutten went for it in the end. Clark tried to get a handball through. Cassisi tried to find an avenue through, got caught, and we'll get a ball up. Half forward flank for Port Adelaide.
What's the rule there? There was 4 ruckmen there, and the ball ended up with Clark, and he took possession. Who's to say who the ruckman is? Because if he was tackled, he could have been holding the ball.
I think you're vulnerable if you take it out of the ball in. You're vulnerable regardless of whether you're a ruck, rover, or tall or small. Ball up. Port Adelaide home game. Big Port Adelaide contingent in the crowd. Salopek, Jew, Evers. He's got another shot at it to extend it beyond a goal again.
They put Mattner onto him too, have they? He was certainly tracking him that time.
Tell you what, that is an amazing kick by Stewart, too. Half a step, and they could have had Carl Lewis on him, and they wouldn't have stopped that kick because it was just a great effort. Interesting now, Ebert, you'd have to say that the goals would look pretty thin at the moment. We saw Chad Collins just walk over to him and give him a few words, or give him a bit of advice on where he should be kicking it. But last 2 very kickable goals he's missed.
He kicked a magnificent goal to give Port Adelaide the lead earlier in the game. This one, he lines up deliberately, brings it back, misses again. He's got 3 goals, 3.
Amazing how it comes and goes. And Mattner, I think, there for that ability, because he's taller, to get a fist on the ball that we see Ebert marking above his head. Brogan did well, stifled the hand pass from McLeod. Strong tackle. Down goes Pearce. Tackle applied by Bock. We'll have a bound 65 metres out. Still 6 points the difference. 10.5 minutes to go. Brogan gets the tap, but there is shepherding, and a free kick will go to Lade. Lade and Brogan both there. Hard to know who was doing what to whom. I can't see that. Lade's got the football, 70 metres out. Long, a prodigious kick, right to the square and beyond. Well, not quite. Off hands and beyond, the behind. What a terrific kick by Brendan Lade.
Is it too early to be a handy point, Dennis?
No. Definitely a handy point.
Speaking of terrific, this is a terrific game. Showdowns normally are, and from the outset, it's been an intoxicating contest to watch. Shirley, Biglands, Rutten. Adelaide Crows, they've got a top 2 spot sewn up, but their season at the moment is not as bright as it was about round 14-15 when they looked to be unbeatable. Edwards runs the half-back flank, pokes the pass. Mark taken by Knights. Edwards, he takes them on. Slips the kick inside 50, getting back Corns with him Clark. Mark slapped an arm, Willets to Corns. Shrugs an attempted tackle by Biglands. Dangerous kick. He's gone to Thompson. Bad option. He goes to Perry. Good option. Here to Welsh. Ridden in the back. Umpire allows play on. That makes some of the natives restless. Pearce to Bentley. Wrapped up by McLeod. Got the handball to Bishop. Port Adelaide on the rebound with loose men. Corns dropped it. McLeod slaps it. Bishop picks it up. Back to Bentley. He's spent. He's had 3 chases in this string of play. Back to Kane Corns. Now to the loose man. Pearce looks up. He's got a short. He ignores it. He goes long to Ebert. Bouncing ball. Back in the pack. Stewart Jew. Box back there. Needs to rush it. Jew off the deck. The Jew kick.
The ball.
Has loaded.
The ball barracks for Port.
Despite the demand for Bogue's draft, we insist on testing it up to 30 times. It's how we make sure you only get the best.
Call Jim's Mowing on 131 546 and we'll not only mow your lawn, we'll also do your pruning. Call your local Jim for more than just mowing.
Well, who better to benefit from a dubious free kick or non-decision at one end? Stewie Jew, 5 metres out. What a fickle bounce for Bock. 12-10, 9-15. And that broke the deadlock. It was a goalless term till Jew found the goals with that soccer. Now Burgoyne, Pearce has been terrific. On the wing, Ebert offers. Ebert could have sewn it up by now. Thurston's in front, hands to it. Ebert, sharp angle, spots a man in the square. Brendan Lade, 10 metres out. Adelaide on the ropes.
Once again, it's the work out of the centre square, and Simon Goodwin coming off now.
Lade comes in and kicks the goal.
I've got to clear $500,000 worth of rugs.
Final. From 200, 140, 80, 40, $10 a metre. $500,000 in bargains. Goodyear rugs. Final day, less for cash.
336 grand for a sub and a Coke? Grab a sub, salad or wrap with a Coca-Cola product to receive your game card. $1,000 given away every hour, plus thousands of food offers. Share in 336 grand. Subway.
Port Adelaide's biggest lead of the game.
Simon Goodwin had a bit of cramp and they took him off. Is that almost putting the cue in the rack for Adelaide? Taking their good players off?
Well, getting the cramp's not a good thing either.
17 minutes travelled final term. From the ball up, Shirley. Caught, good tackle, Pearce. Ridden a little. Hammer to Edwards. Hammer to Thompson. Hammer to Edwards. Pearce tries to run him down. Sean Burgoyne. Handball finds Clark. Back to Thompson. But they're all the way back to half back. He's got McLeod. Flies. Good mark. Plays on. Matner. Being chased by Jew. To the open side, Brutton. He chips the kick to half forward. Corn's getting back. Dowdy got there first. Adelaide's still alive.
You have to suggest at this stage he's too far out.
Well, he knows it. He plays on, and he has kicked it to Nathan Van Berlo, who is 30 metres out.
Well, a bit of urgency coming into Adelaide's play then. Tyson Edwards right back there, just was able to hold on to the footy, but McLeod took the mark and just played on at all costs. Matner fed the ball out to Rutten. And you'd think he'd have to kick this now, Van Berlo, to give Adelaide any chance.
Massive kick, not just for this game, but Adelaide down on confidence, and he thinks he's got it. They're still alive. He's got two.
Yeah, it's been good.
Dance.
Some things you just shouldn't bet on. This guy bet Cooper's they couldn't make a great lager.
Dumb bet.
Cooper's Lager.
Chicken. It's flying out the door at Hungry Jack's. Check out these marinated wingettes. Oh, yeah. Chicken wingettes. Just the thing when you're feeling peckish.
The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Margin back to 13 points, and that was Adelaide's first goal since the 17-minute mark of the third term. Nathan Bassett got that goal. If you think back, that was a long time ago. Cassisi tries to charge through. Needs a shoehorn to get out of there. That ball still bouncing around Bode, taken by his lookalike Kane Corns. Knights gets a hand pass across to Bock. Bock, clever kick. Now McLeod, 60 metres out, wants Perry. Perry couldn't hang on. Yes, well, Neil Young said it best. Russ never sleeps, and Perry in the old days, early in the season, would have hung on to that one, Jace.
Yeah, look, regardless of what happens today in this result, I think the Crows' season's really unravelling before our eyes with the injury concerns and just the way they're really struggling. They've not got any fluency at all.
Clark knocks it down. Edwards tries to get himself out of traffic. Still in the middle of the pack. Massive players around it. Can throw a blanket over 15. Play on advantage. Chad Corns, stolen. Not sure he knew it was his, but he took the punt. Rolls it to Eben. Big last half, and he's dumped. John Cock takes him over the line, and that'll do both teams. We've played 20 minutes. Final term.
It appears as if John Cock's gone back onto Ebert again.
Back into play. Lane, third man up, knocks it down. Goodwin, half grabbed. Umpire said it was okay. Bode tried to get a handball out. Matner tried. Thompson tries and succeeds. Rutten, Goodwin, Van Berlo can run. Pearce is quick though, strikes him. Sends a low trajectory. Chad reaching for it. Chad Corns. Perry thought he had it. The two big hands of Chad Corns plucked the Sharon.
Goes short to his brother Kane at centre-half back. Under 5 minutes now. And Port well aware of that fact. Wouldn't they relish this in a bleak season to be the spoilers of their arch rivals? Chaplin. 88 plays 75. Chaplin, left half back. Kane Corns. That was terrific running. You could see him gritting his teeth as he came. Every step was hurting. Short to the wing. Kingsley. He's been good this afternoon. Former best and fairest winner. I think they will hug the boundary. Kingsley floats one towards Brogan, had it punched away, and that's what happens, out of bounds. Anxiety in that box. They play Melbourne to finish their season. So many big games next week, so many implications for the top 8. Edwards, 29 possessions. Willits hasn't been the worst of them. Didn't have the football. Could have almost got a free kick there. Comes to Clark in the grasp. Clever by Lower. The youngsters combining there to put the pressure on Lower. Up towards the wing. Thompson to Biglands. Biglands runs forward. Kicks towards half forward. Out of bounds on the full. We're under 4 minutes. Biglands says it was touched. He was so mad he could spit.
13 points and 4 minutes. That's the equation. Short pass, Chaplin to Kingsley.
Adelaide have to man up here. They just can't allow Port Adelaide to chip the ball around. You can see Lade's behind the footy. He's going to get this. Chaplin's on his own. Adelaide have got to adjust quickly.
So Lane to Bishop to the open side. It bounces kindly for Bishop. He looks up and he's got Marnie short. He bounces, ignores Marnie. Bounces again, sees Ebert, ignores that, goes long. Cassisi!
50.
Cassisi can seal the deal from the goal line. The crowd on their feet. Port Adelaide home game at Amy Stadium. And the Adelaide Crows have been on the ropes for the last month. And Port Adelaide can put them on the canvas.
With satellite navigation, Bluetooth phone integration, rain sensing wipers and automatic headlights. So all you have to do is drive. Intuitive new Camry, the car that reads the road.
The Adelaide Crows coming unglued here this afternoon. The margin is 19 points. Lade goes up, stolen away by Tyson Edwards, who's been superb. So is this man. Chad Corns grabs it, kicks it back towards the wing. Pearce, wonderful game from the speedster too. Look at him go. Takes on his opposition, runs down to the 50. This could be one of the goals of the season. How will it bounce? The wrong way for the youngster. To the opposite pocket. Brogan is there battling with Rutten. Brogan running out the clock and passes across towards Thomas. Thurston's got a boot to him. Jew's in trouble. Thurston's with the run of it. Outside the 50. Hand passes inside the 50. Salopek ran into a dead end. Douglas got him. It spills wide. Bock over the football. Cassisi tries to spin out of trouble. Bock was waiting for him. Down he goes. And the clock continues to... No, it doesn't. It stopped. They were quick there. Very quick. Bounce.
Just see Salopek attempting to get a handball out there, but Port Adelaide, their pressure has been fantastic. They've tried to keep the ball moving, and they've done it really well.
You can see the massive players around it. Trademark Brogan to Burgoyne to Pearce from 45. Misses.
In all honesty, this last quarter, we talked about how Adelaide would run the game out. Port Adelaide have finished all over the top of them, and really, if Ebert kicked 3 goals and Pearce has missed 1 and they've had a couple of others, they could have went on and won this by a lot bigger margin.
John Cock. Now, what's the call from the umpire? Is it something to do with the second ball? No idea. This is when it gets very murky. Umpire Woodcock indicating it must come back to John Cock. How would he be feeling right now? Vindicated. The youngsters have done the job against the red-hot favourites of a month ago in terms of the premiership. No good news for the Adelaide Crows this afternoon. Teams will be queuing up to play their first final in Adelaide. Bode comes in short. Doughty will get 50. Too little too late. Under 2 minutes, 20 points the difference. Doughty kicks inside the forward 50. Interesting by Willets. Flung his opponent out of the way. A clash of legs, if you don't mind, as Willets tried to clear the zone. And the umpire will bounce it down.
Almost a career-making game, perhaps, for Ryan Willets. He has been solid in defence. Palm down good to Rutten. Unlikely goal kicker, unlikely hero. Kicks it straight in the air, and there is Ryan Willets. They may have found a spot for him. He played an attack on debut last week, but defence might be his go. From the kick away, Van Berlo, Rutten, Bode, 90 seconds and counting. Left foot kick is a goal! He's got 4. And it's back to 14 points.
Peter Shearer's final winter clearance is on now. Up to 50% off a huge range of suits, sports coats, business shirts and trousers, and up to 50% off luxury leather jackets, plus 75% off selected casual shirts and tops. Get into Peter Shearer now.
Eric Clapton returns to Australia for the first time in 2 decades. Okay. Don't miss one of the kings of rock guitar. Eric Clapton live. Tickets on sale Monday, August 28.
Matthew Bode, 15 possessions this afternoon, 4 goals. An outstanding forward. Like Ebert at the other end. Rucks go at it. Stolen away by Edwards. Kicks it down towards the attacking 50. Perry's got it. He did play on. Now he has a problem. Bode helps the ball on its way. Goodwin controls it brilliantly. Deep in the pocket, and guess who? Fitting.
And a little fist pump to the crowd as well.
A glare at those Crows fans. He will have the last laugh. He wouldn't mind hanging onto the football till the final siren. Out of the back pocket with precision. He needed to back up that fist pump, and he did. He hit Bishop.
David Arnfield, the Port Adelaide runner, asking the crowd to rise.
Is that in his jurisdiction, you think?
I don't think there's anything that's not in David Arnfield's jurisdiction if you ask him.
He was like a faith healer.
All out of play, and Biglands will take it. Chad Corns, magnificent game. He could win the showdown medal. It's been that good, and there he is. Have a look at that. They won't play in finals this year, Port Adelaide.
Now, who's he doing that to?
Let the world know that next year could be another rise for them. Kingsley, Chad Corns, he's rolled it through. He's gone for the tunnel ball kick to Jew. That's how arrogant they're playing now. Jew to Salopek. Takes on Edwards and wins. Kingsley, boundary line will do.
Now, was he having a go at the Adelaide fans or geeing up the Port Adelaide fans? Because the AFL could take a dim view of that.
Oh, he's skewed it down there still. He's going.
That's incitement, I think. Boundary throw in. Kingsley spikes it out of midair. There's the siren. How about that? He was certainly talking to the Port fans there. What a wonderful game by Chad Corns. The emotion spilling over at Amy Stadium. And the Adelaide Crows have lost their 5th game in their last 6.
And that's how much it means when Chad Corns has told the world how much it means in this city to win a game like that. Josh Franco retiring, did a lap of honour before the game today with Mark Williams. They won't play in the finals, Port Adelaide. Adelaide Crows could still win the flag, but this is a minor victory of massive proportions in this week of showdown here in South Australia, and it's that big a game. It must be the biggest of the week because the boss, Andrew Demetrio, is here, and even he pats Mark Williams on the back. Let's go down to Jason McCartney with the man of the moment.
Chad, mate, still pumped up, super effort that. Besides the grand final, that is the sweetest win I've ever been involved in. Unbelievable effort from the boys, such a young team. The way they had a crack today is great news for next year. Good luck to the Crows, but so good to win our showdown. First one for a couple of years. And you only had 24 fit players to pick from this week. Yeah, mate, it's numbers are really low. A few guys have gone in to get season-ending ops, but the boys that we had today had a red-hot guy. Big cliche there, but amazing, and the supporters have been fantastic as well. And for you to get back in that role behind the ball across the back line, just held it up tremendously today. Pretty easy, mate, when you haven't got a man, so... although, against them, if you get numbers in front of their tall forwards, that normally works pretty well. Now, were you giving it to the Adelaide supporters, or were you just stirring up your own supporters there at the end? A bit of both, mate. Good stuff, mate. Go and enjoy it. You'll be okay!
Port Adelaide's last showdown win was in their premiership year. Round 22, 2004. They lost round 6 earlier this year, and they lost both last year. This is sweet.
Just checking those stats. They've lost 4 of their last 5, the Adelaide Crows, as the celebrations continue at Amy Stadium. What a wonderful game it was. Showdown 21. Check those scores. Port Adelaide just 1 goal in the opening term. They trailed by 18 points. They had stormed home. They've outlasted, they've outrun the Adelaide Crows. They've got a lot of work to do. The final score, 14-11 to 11-15.
You've never seen anything like this. On 60 Minutes, the doctors who promise you can live forever.
They're placed in here.
For the first time, how they actually do it, freezing this woman ready to bring her back to life in the future.
I love life.
Also, she's sexy, she's smart, she's pink.
Screw him.
And she's on the warpath against Paris and pop trash. Toyota presents 60 Minutes, tonight, 7:30 on 9.
Whew, technology moves incredibly fast these days. So if you want to see the very latest in computers and IT,
Race into radio rentals.
check out the biggest range of all the big brands.
Check. The biggest.
You can rent with no deposit and no application fees.
Check. No deposit rental.
For the very latest technology, SA's biggest electrical retailer is IT.
You'd be mad to shop anywhere else.
Call 1-800-NO-DRIP. Call 1-800-NO-DRIP. Call 1-800-NO-DRIP. Call 1-800-NO-DRIP. Call Metropolitan Plumbing when your tap is dripping or your drains are blocked. Call Metropolitan Plumbing for hot water replacement and pay no interest ever. Call Metropolitan Plumbing. All areas, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Call 1-800-NO-DRIP.
It's the dawn of a new age in driving. Introducing the all-new Holden Commodore. Designed from the word go to be one of the most exciting cars in the world. With electronic stability program standard for added safety. And with linear control suspension, it leaves the competition in the Stone Age. The all-new Holden Commodore. Go like never before.
Get set for a reality check.
What is this?
reality crime show.
As Grissom gets put under the microscope.
Hey.
We warn you, it ain't gonna be pretty.
Mr. Grissom, we may have missed that. Can you say it one more time for the camera?
CSI Sunday, then on CSI Miami.
Certainly knows how to draw a crowd.
A moral dilemma with a wicked twist. New CSI Sunday, tonight from 8:30 on 9.
Long live the showdown. It was a classic. Port Adelaide getting up by 14 points, 14-11-95 to Adelaide 11-15-81. It went down to the wire. The Adelaide Crows led for the majority of the opening half, but Mark Bickley, two-time Adelaide Crow premiership player, it must have been a little sad to watch.
Oh, no, I thought it was a fantastic game. Sad from Adelaide's perspective, but fantastic if you're a Port Adelaide supporter. The fact that they boxed on, they had 24 to pick from this week. Under the pump early in the first quarter, but look, they were fantastic there. Looking at some of the goal kickers, Ebert was unbelievable up forward.
Sad in many respects for the Adelaide Crows and all their fans, given that they not only went down, but they lost a couple of key players to injury, especially given that Burton might be out now. And if you don't want to see the graphic injury to Trent Henschel, just look away now, because it is horrible to watch, but his season may be over, Bix.
Yeah, it appears that the knee was buckled underneath him, I guess. His right knee went out to the side. He looked in pain almost instantly, and there's another view which doesn't look great. And here we see Nathan Bassett, who unfortunately collided with Brett Ebert. There was a clash of heads there, and he was in trouble before he hit the ground, and he looks like he's got a nasty gash, but they're just making an indication that he was okay to the crowd.
Your votes, Bix, and you put Brett Ebert in, but it was Chad Corns this afternoon, wasn't it?
He was fantastic, and look, he got back to where he was when he was a centre-half back All-Australian form a couple of years back, and he's been played on ball and up forward, but he was great today. Ebert, for his work around the forward line, Edwards was Adelaide's best player, and Steve Salopek, who early on, when Port weren't going great, he was getting plenty of the footy, and he's finished off a really good year.
Andrew Demetrio presenting the cup. And the showdown medalist was Chad Corns. 28 possessions, 13 marks, and that is sweet. His father coached the Adelaide Crows, Chad Corns, and the two Corns boys have been sensational for Port Adelaide. What magnificent pickups they were. The Adelaide Crows, well, the minor premiership is still within their reach. Depending on what happens with the West Coast Eagles and Fremantle this afternoon, Collingwood and Carlton, the other game to still be played this afternoon, but still many connotations for that final 8 setup, Mark Bickley.
Yes, absolutely. I think Adelaide, the furthest thing from their mind at the moment would be finishing on top. I think they'll be looking for their next win, to be quite honest, and they have a big week next week when they play Melbourne here at Amy Stadium.
That is next weekend's round. It starts on Friday night. Friday night football, the Western Bulldogs and Essendon, Richmond, the West Coast, Adelaide, Melbourne, Brisbane, St Kilda, Fremantle and Port Adelaide at Subiaco. And our game next Sunday afternoon will come from the Sydney Cricket Ground, the Sydney Swans versus Carlton. But a magnificent victory in Showdown 21 this afternoon to Port Adelaide, who got home in a thriller by 14 points. Good afternoon.
The 2006 Toyota AFL Premiership season, proudly brought to you by Hungry Jack's. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's, oh yeah. A&R Computers, the team to beat for great value and service. Radio Rentals, SA's biggest electrical retailer. You'd be mad to shop anywhere else. Metropolitan Plumbing, emergency plumbing 24 hours, 7 days a week. And Wizard Home Loans. At Wizard, you'll find we say, why not?
The doc's advice?
A deep breath.
Take a very deep breath, because Frasier's back at the new time Monday, 10:35 on Channel 9.
Forget the hype, forget the judges. Only your vote will decide the winner. Carl Stefanovic or Jake Wall. SMS your favourite's first name to 193999 or phone vote by dialing 1902 5595 and 96 for Carl to win or 99 for Jake to win. It's our final and most spectacular show where they dance the bolero. Tall Valentines Dancing on Ice, grand finale, Tuesday, 7:30 on 9.
Tonight, 6:30, the adventure just gets bigger and bigger on brand new Prehistoric Park. Then doctors who promise you can live forever on 60 Minutes. And later, a reality check on new CSI. Tonight on 9.